What's up, nerds? Welcome to another edition of the Sarlacc Digest show, bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. I'm your temporary host today, Scott Solo. I've got Ernie, the Fallen Fett, with me.
Hey guys, what's up?
And driving through the Cajon Pass like a madman right now, just trying to get back to his computer, we've got Grand Admiral Franz.
Yo! Not even near the pass yet. We're going to be in this car for a while.
So, of course, Darth Moocher is not here today. He's decided to play hooky. I don't know what he's doing. It's something scandalous, I'm sure. And Joey is, God only knows where Joey's at. He's somewhere between here and who knows. So we've got this covered tonight. We're going to talk about, number one, it's episode 202. I can't believe we're already in the 200s. It's crazy to me. But episode 202, we're going to be discussing the Bad Batch tonight. We're going to be breaking that down, and we're also going to be breaking down the latest episode of The Mandalorian, which was absolutely bat poop crazy today. So, hey guys, we ready to roll with this?
Ready?
Let's do this. But first, before we jump too headfirst into this, we're going to go ahead and give a shout out to our wonderful Patreon members. So, Ernie, you want to take this for me?
Yeah, man, of course. We'd like to send a very special thank you and shout out to the amazing Patreon crew. We got AJ from the Forbidden panel, Cliff, Brandon and Anya Epler, Don the Dad Dorn, Don and Brady of the Escape Pod podcast on the Red 5 Network, Eric Grubb, Fanboy Mike, Flavy Davey, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude, Gavin Connor from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Mervine, Nicholas Schaefer, and Matt Logic, and Ryan and the Star Joes podcast. Thank you guys very much. If you feel like you want to become a Patreon, right there on the screen right now is your perfect chance. Get your phone out, take a picture of that, and hit the link and become a Patreon member and become part of the crew.
That's right. Without you, we wouldn't look as Grand Admiral Franz wouldn't have the gas to come up the Cajon Pass if it wasn't for all of you Patreon members. So thank you.
And I just filled up too. Took it out of that super chat.
Nice.
And then we've also got some folks over in the chat already. You want me to take that one, Ernie?
It doesn't matter. I can go for it. Let me go for it.
Go for it, buddy. Go.
You're hosting tonight. What's up to everybody right now digesting in the pit? Remember to hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. If you're new here, welcome. We are the Starlight Digest podcast. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and hit all so you don't miss when we're on. We got tons of content for you guys. And if there's anything you can do right now to help us out, go share right now on whatever social media you're watching on, whatever it may be. Let them know we're live and we're about to get into the new episode of The Mandalorian and the Bad Batch, as we always do, and get that line talk going. So let's see who's already jumped in the pit with us. We got Isaac here. Gordon, what's up? We got Miss Sunflower. Matt Logic, how's it going? Don the Dad Dorn, hello. Corinne's here, Evil Diva. We got Julianne Fernie, what's up? Gavin Connor. Michael's here. Yes, Federation all day. Thank you for being here. Gordon, Julie, Skyrider's in the house, and Crystal E. There you are. The QR code didn't show, Crystal? We'll send it to you so you can become a member. No problem.
Also, it looks like the Sabersmith just popped up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is. Check it out. Julianne Fernie's having a great week. She got her very first Star Wars tattoo, and then these episodes, and then us.
Nice.
What else do you need, right?
What did you get?
And it's only Wednesday.
Yeah. I got to know what you got, because after this episode, I want to go get a new one as well, too.
It was one of those types of episodes.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and break down the Bad Batch first. Let's go ahead and, they were equally great today. I got nothing bad to say about either one of these shows, but let's go with the Bad Batch first. That way we can go ahead and hop into the Mandalorian for our wrap up tonight. So, the Bad Batch, what was it? It was episode... I'm usually doing research while everybody else 15? Is talking.
It's episode the last 16, whatever the hell. 16. Next week's the finale. This was 14. Next week is 15 and 16.
Yeah, 2 episodes next week for the finale.
Yeah,
that's right.
Sure.
This episode was called Tipping Point, and definitely see where it's headed right now. I think we're all headed to Mount Tantus next week, and we're going to be kicking some butt. So
next episode's called The Summit. So,
right. Which
I mean, that goes Tantus, right? But
I originally thought it was about Mount Tantus and the summit of the mountain, but then they're actually talking about a conference, an actual summit happening. I
wonder if they're going to pull a double meaning like Mandalorian always does, right?
Probably.
Maybe but you're probably right, because I would think Tantus would be the peak.
Exactly.
Oh. Yeah.
So, but I mean, we start off this. Oh yeah, that dude's insane. We started off this week though. I'm trying to remember how the episode started. I've seen Mandalorian twice now, and but I only watched the Bad Batch once. It was great, but where do we start with this one?
Well, I guess we probably won't be able to go scene by scene because I don't have my notes in front of me either. But
right.
I'll tell you what, they're still on that island, right? And they're really making do on that island, like
it's become their home. It's become their home. Wrecker's fishing off the dock. It feels like they've been there a while because they've been rebuilding. You can see the place isn't quite as devastated as it was last time you saw it. You guys think some time has passed, or what are you thinking?
Time has definitely passed. I think just for the rebuilding and everything. That's for sure. And I think that's great. And sometimes I think a lot of people forget that in our animation episodes or even our regular live episodes as well too, is that time passes between these. We don't roll the next day. And I think showing how much they were doing repair, because you remember that got devastated. It was the destruction.
The only thing left
was
the
crazy.
top of the hill.
Correct. Right. And now we're seeing all of this. And he had said too, it seemed like it was coming to an end, right? Because he was like, have you guys decided? Are you really going to stay? So I would say they've been there for a while, helping with the repairs and making themselves at home. Well, enough of when we see her, that's what we get is her in the ship flying after we get that conversation. And now she's learning how to fly. And oh my God, that was hilarious, dude. He was really like he didn't take that dad position. He really did take the uncle position of, I'm going to be the cool guy and show you how to drive. But at the same time, you're freaking me out. And that's what, oh my God, that was a great scene. I like how
I love the tech turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's all, I don't agree with it. He's all, but I don't mind it. I kind of like it. Right?
Yeah. And I like but the sensors haven't gone off. Yeah, because last time you broke them all. That's
short them all out, right?
Yeah, that was great.
They don't stop going off. Right?
It was so good. Yeah, that was great.
And now that we watched that too, and we've watched Mandalorian last week, all I think about is the way they spliced her genes and how everything is going and all this stuff and all her skills, and it makes sense to me now. I don't hate Omega. Liked her the last probably 4 episodes. So the Bad Batch is taking a really, really good turn in the right direction. And I'm stoked for it.
And this episode, we kicked off the episode with the on Mount Tantus, and we're having a prisoner transfer, and they're transferring. I think it was Captain Hauser from one of the earlier episodes of the Bad Batch. He's being transferred along with a couple of his men. They mentioned that it's originally 8 members of his squad that were transferred over, and only 3 are still alive. Whenever Echo and Echo, I don't know who the others were. I don't have their names, but Echo, it looks like one of Commander Gree's people from Kashyyyk is there, and a bunch of clones. They intercept this transport that are taking prisoners from Mount Tantus or to Mount. I didn't quite get. Were they going to Mount? They were going away from Mount Tantus.
I think they were going to.
Yeah, they were bringing them to the doctor. To the doctor.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
So whatever planet that was that they were on, they intercepted him there, broke into that ship, which was awesome. They had the way that little pod broke off the main ship and attached itself to one side as a diversion while the other troops came down from the other one. I thought that was a really unique design for a ship. I thought that was pretty cool the way that happened.
Yeah.
The little pod was cool.
Here's my gripe again. This is going to play with our Bad Batch bingo. And here we are. They're not going up against their brothers. They are going up against stormtroopers, and we're back to using stun.
Yeah, dude, out of nowhere. They've been killing everybody for 3 episodes, and all of a sudden it's back to the circle blasters. I can't stand that. Yeah, that's a big gripe, dude. Same thing. No reason for
And
that.
it's not the Bad Batch. It's not the Bad Batch that are doing it. It's the other clones. Echo's in charge. They shouldn't give a damn about these stormtroopers. They're taking their jobs and putting their brothers, in prison because of these stormtroopers. They should be blasting fools left and right.
It again shows the racism. The race. Right, because they can kill aliens with no problem.
They can kill aliens with no problems, but not clones and not humans.
Once you get the humans,
unless you're an Imperial commander. Unless you're an Imperial commander or you're Crosshair. Crosshair does not mind shooting anybody.
So
except for that doctor.
The Sabersmith said we got Gregor, Echo, Nemec, and Fireball.
Okay.
Those were some of the ones there.
I thought that was Gregor because he seemed kind of kooky whenever he was talking. He seemed a little...
Correct. Yeah. I love how you can tell that in the voice change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. It was really good. And so that was awesome.
They called him by his commando gear.
Yeah.
So let's see. Ubaldo T has joined us in the chat. So what's up, Ubaldo? How you doing, man? Also, let me see. We've got Miss Sunflower with Hunky Hauser. Saber Smith with Hauser Lives. # Hauser Lives. We have lost the Grand Admiral Franz, so it's just you and me holding down this fort, buddy.
That's all right.
Julianne Fernie, Grand Admiral Franz looks like he's driving through hyperspace. I think he might have just been intercepted by an Imperial convoy. So yeah. So we had the ship intercepted. Go ahead.
Yeah, which was great. It was cool to see them. I liked how to see again the growth, right? They have this team now. The team to go get their brothers and everything and to save them. And they execute it so great. I mean, this was a large ship for just that handful. And I think that we need to remember that in play as far as what the clones can actually do compared to new stormtroopers, right? Like you guys are trying to push them out and everything. And it just took this handful and they got more and took you guys out. Like with nothing.
Yeah.
Like there was no worry on their face or whatever. Even when Gregor had said that, right, of, well, you better hurry because more are coming. Like it was just like
no big deal.
Exactly. No big deal.
Pick up the pace a little bit, buddy. It's we're running out of time. Let's go.
Yeah. And that was a cool part, I think, to see is there is really other clones out there that we knew more than just what we were shown later, that there was teams. They're trying to do this and save as many as they can. And then after we get this scene, we see that when they get back to the governor, so she's still in play. That one, and that was awesome to see. So it's like they are trying to get some help. There is something behind it. Maybe like a whole nother thing to the Rebel Alliance almost, right? Like their own thing, which was really cool to see. And I love how they showed that. It was cool. I loved it.
It just makes me feel like this season finale that we get, which is I think it's called like Order 99 or something. It's another order number. I just have a really bad feeling about that as far as our clone boys go.
As we get into this episode on that doctor's so creepy. Like, why does he have to talk like that? This low voice talking. It's so like
he talks very slow and very low.
Yeah,
very methodical too.
So I think he may already have something into play, and he's trying to get as many as he can to change to do that as he has done with Crosshairs, right? Like that was just man. And then we have it out. Something is really up with Omega. There really is. Like he wants her bad. And so what is the reason? Yeah. Because it's not even like a matter of what's going to happen. He needs to know the location right now. It's not even like bring her to me or anything.
And it's not just him though, because we also see Tarkin. We know that it's part of Tarkin's overall plan. So Tarkin pops up saying, we need this information. We need this clone. And in the meantime, we've got Crosshair staging a jailbreak basically and trying to get away. And here we go with the creepiness of this doctor guy again. He gasses Crosshair to take him back into custody, and he's sitting amidst all this gas, and he's just like, do you smell that? That's the smell of victory. He doesn't say that, but of course it's like he's built up an immunity over the years to this his gas that he utilizes. And what a psycho.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, speaking of psychos, I think they all are, because if you remember during the break as well as getting them all too. They were asking him, where's the ship going? Where are you going? Where are you going? And he did that whole, we see that pill thing again, the where
Yeah.
you execute yourself. And that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
Because
we saw that. We saw that in the Mandalorian, the episode where Bo-Katan and
try to
Din
take the
steal
ship.
those. Yeah, they take the
And
ship.
we've seen it also in this Bad Batch as well. When that other one did. Remember when they were talking to the sniper one, the one we had no clue,
Right.
that was trying to kill her, the governor that I was
Right.
talking about, he did it too.
Coochie or
And now
Chuchi. Yeah.
here's this. And it's like, so who are these guys working for that could be our connection into Mandalorian? What is
Mhm.
like is this all really going to tie in that much? Because that is pretty crazy that
It
whoever is
is.
controlling all this, because I know we saw Grand Admiral what's his name?
Grand Moff Tarkin?
Grand Moff Tarkin. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so is there a bigger thing than him as well too, of doing this whole how they kill themselves and just take themselves out so that none of this information can get out there? I mean, even
Right.
as we roll through with that crazy doctor, right, as we get to it, he even says like he wasn't scared of
Right.
them finding out. He's like, oh no, don't even worry about it. I mean, it's like, so
What do you
is
expect
all
though from a
this?
guy named Dr. Hemlock? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the guy's not playing with a full deck, or he's brilliant. I don't know. Skywriter, the female doctor, seems conflicted. She also has clone features and a clone voice. If you notice, she also it almost seems like the same voice of Omega, just a little bit in a deeper register.
I thought so too. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's definitely sympathetic towards Crosshair. I could see her trying to help him escape. And of course, he didn't pull the trigger on her. He just stunned her. And that's the first person I've ever seen Crosshair stun.
Right.
Yeah, but she did have that Omega sound to her voice, and the same accent.
Mm.
So,
And when she has to do the stuff to him, the whole mind thing and everything, she is really trying to tell him, just tell him what he wants. Like, because like if she doesn't want to do it, really
yeah,
think about what you're doing. I mean, it isn't just a thing. So I agree with Julie and Skywriter that there is a little bit more to that there. There
yeah.
definitely is. Yeah.
And she even looks to one side. She's kind of like you can see her contemplating what's happening and kind of struggling with her own morals, with her own set of values as she's doing it. Darth Moocher popping in the pit. What's up,
Marco?
man? You should be here. You should be here running this show. I just feel like I'm saying a lot. But overall, again, it was just the Bad Batch has the most beautiful animation. It seems like every time we get another Star Wars animated series, the animation quality just goes up and up and up. And every episode, it's just stunning to look at. You've got the storm scene on Mount Tantus with this one. You've got it's great. It's a gorgeous show. So I can't say enough about it. I thought the episode was great. What would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, what did you think of this? What did you think of this episode?
I probably gave it like around an 8 for all the stuff that we're being seen. Again, like I'm talking about the tie-ins, seeing that there was a whole group to be out there and save them. And that Crosshair is now actually getting it.
Right.
And you know what? And we have to think about it in a way too of maybe he was before, but just a little bit too hardcore still Empire, right? And now that he can see actually what's going on and the decommissioned clones and everything that is going on like this of who's all in this prison, because as they walk him there, he is staring at all these other brothers back there too. Like, so what are we here for? And he keeps asking that too. And then he finds out that they just want Omega, basically. And he has to come to that point of sending out that distress signal, their code. And he does get that out there, but then what happens? They hear it, and now they don't know if they can trust him. They think it's a trap, which really sucks because everybody's right. You know, he had his conflictions, and now he's really doing the right thing. But at the same time, they do have a right to be leery because they don't know what's going on his side or what he's going through. They very well could think it's a trap, and especially of being on that island, right? So their mindset is, we have a home here. Things are going good. Oh man, what does he want? I don't think until Echo actually goes back out there and sees them is it maybe a little shakeup in that little dream of we could be happy out here, that something needs to be done, you know?
And yeah, but part of the problem is they also, whenever they decrypted the information they got from because, okay, so just to recap, what happens is they rescue Hauser, but they also steal some information as to where they were taking the clones and what the purpose was. And Scorch was in the middle of deleting all these files whenever they grabbed him. So they were only able to grab a handful of information, but it was all heavily encrypted, which is why they needed tech to decrypt the information on this information spike that Echo stole. And what they did find was that Crosshair was actually taken into custody for treason. So that's another thing.
Right. Oh, yeah, and they can see that he shot the guy.
Yeah.
So they know he killed something. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where they get dragged into Mount Tantus. They still don't know where I don't think they had the name Mount Tantus on there just yet.
No, I think it was like he was saying something like we can pinpoint it or something, but it wasn't said. So yeah, but now they're conflicted with the thing of, do we go?
Right.
So
and what do you do in that situation? I mean, I know what's going to happen. They're definitely, just because it's the Bad Batch, it's Star Wars. But what would you do in that situation if you had somebody who was a relative of yours that had damn near tried to take you and everybody that you love out? I mean, are you going to go rescue them if they get locked in the Husgau? Are you going to go bail them out of jail? What are you going to do?
It depends. It really depends because all they have is that message, right? Of saying that they turned.
Yeah,
he shot an officer and everything that he did before. It really does look like a trap.
And so his record,
I think it may take good. I think it may take something else.
Yeah.
Another thing. I think that first one may go as unwanted as, no, we're not falling for it, which I would probably do too, of, yeah, right. And then I think that something else is going to happen that they're going to notice.
Hey, thanks for the super chat there, Darth Moocher. Awesome.
Does it like
we have a super chat? If I know, right? Doesn't it? It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul or something. I don't know, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Miss Sunflower says she'll go. She has family members who suck, but she'd probably still help him. She's like a Jedi that way. Nice, Miss Sunflower.
It's true. I mean, you got to get to that point.
I'm a sucker. I would probably do the same thing. And it just, you get stepped on every now and then, but I really do feel like this is this was Crosshair's tipping point. I think that is the tipping point we're talking about here. It's not just the beginning of the end for the season. I do think this is where Crosshair is finally taking a stance and he's finally standing with his brothers. And I think that's what this tipping point is that we're talking about in the episode. So, I mean, where do we go from here? Is it going to take Echo and his crew to get back out there, try to track everybody down, try to find Crosshair to realize that, no, he's serious? Or are we just going to go in guns blazing? Is the crew going to go out there and try and save him?
Well, I see the pit coming up with some theories of saying Sid. And Sid's going to be the one to rat them out. Sabersmith said Sid's going to talk. And then that Fee didn't tell Sid where Pabu is, but that I think that may be that second one. So they don't believe the Crosshairs one, but then Sid may call them back for something because so Crosshairs only knows that they're there, right? So what if that's the location that he gives up?
Crosshair doesn't even know about Sid, I don't think.
No, he doesn't.
No, he never came face to face with Sid. The last time they saw Crosshair was on the planet where they were taking apart the Imperial Star Destroyers. Oh, and they on Camino. So he's never come face to face with Sid. He doesn't know anything about Sid.
Okay, because I was thinking that could work because then they go to Sid's, and I think that's how they could capture them,
Sid's got to volunteer that information. I think Sid's going to come under pressure. She's going to volunteer that information, but that seems very convenient. I don't know where Sid comes into play. Is Sid, after all is said and done, is Sid the one that's going to rescue them from whatever they're in? Will she not give them up, but she'll rescue them instead? Seems out of character.
Yeah. But then that would be our big turnaround, right? Like, oh, I didn't see that coming at all.
Right. Especially when she's threatening to give them up. So
we'd have to see that. That would be a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, man? Do you want to do some Bad Batch bingo?
Yeah, because I think there had to been a lot of people who hit their bingo this week,
All right.
right?
I'd like to think so. I'd really like to think
Yeah.
so, but I don't know. I can't predict it. So, everybody, all of our Patreon members, if you're watching or if you're in the replay crew watching right now, grab your Bad Batch bingo card as we go through this episode of the Bad Batch. And all right, so I'll go ahead and I'll read them. Ernie, I'm going to need you to back me up on some of these, or maybe talk me into a few of them,
You
because
got it.
we're a little off here.
And the pit as
So,
well too, if you think it was definitely a mark.
absolutely, and we'll call you out if it's not. So, Tech says how smart he is. Of course, Tech said that. As a matter of fact, I think he started saying that whenever he and Omega were flying, didn't he?
Yeah, something to the effect.
Yeah.
Well, I think as much as even Omega called this one out with the tech turd. I mean, so that's kind of like
Absolutely.
calling, even though he said don't call it that, that's still calling like yourself out, right?
Even though it's pretty
Or-
cool. Yeah.
Oh, he did say the predictions though. He gave his predictions of her not crashing, so he
That's
knew,
right.
so he was safe. So
Yes.
yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
did.
Okay. Oh, and just a reminder, whatever your middle square is, you go ahead and mark that off. Hopefully it's not one that happened naturally in the episode. So go ahead and mark off your center square. All right. Next up, we've got a narrow escape scene. And yes, absolutely. It
I
wasn't
think
the
that,
Bad Batch. It was Echo's crew, I think, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that extra pod for
Yeah.
them to get away. Yeah. And then
Absolutely.
they detached and then flew away.
So Omega did not show incredible aim, but damn, her flying skills were off the charts with this one.
But you know what? We could, because I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help the pit out here. So I would say that she didn't crash into the water. That was pretty incredible, because she knew she hit the brakes right when he said.
That was
it
pretty
didn't
impressive.
crash, and she does have that turn down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that has to take some type of incredible aim. She knew the whole brake, the relaunch, everything.
All right.
So
All right. So
I say we give it to him.
Okay. We could give him incredible. Okay. Omega shows incredible skill. Let's go
Yeah.
for, instead of aim, let's go for skill.
Let's do that.
So go ahead and mark that one off. There was no appearance of Yularen. Was Wrecker confused? I think Wrecker might have been confused whenever they were on the ship, listening to the to Tech transfer the information out of the spike.
He did.
I think I saw him
didn't he?
scratching his head. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't he make a comment about something? I think
he did.
he did. It was like a repeat of, that's exactly what I just said. I think it was
Right.
that this one. I say
Yeah.
yes.
All right. So Wrecker is confused, because of course he is. New building or ship that is from old concept art. You know what? I'm still going to give you this one, because the stormtroopers are from old concept art from Ralph McQuarrie. So
Yes.
we're going to go ahead and say the stormtroopers there.
Okay.
Commander Cody was not in this episode, so
Nope.
that's a big negatory. Wrecker did not hit anything.
No.
So there's none of that.
And that's exactly the change that I was talking about. Everyone was asking him for help, and he was ready to help.
Right.
Yeah. So it wasn't his bumbling self.
No, he was. I actually liked seeing him run around playing
Uh-huh.
with the children on the
Yeah.
island. That was cool. There was no alien creature attack, so that is a negatory. Omega did not tell someone what to do. Because I don't think any of the flying, she was just doing it. She was just flying. She wasn't telling anybody what to do. So that's a no. Omega was not sad. Now, there were a lot of aliens on the island today. Did any of them appear to you to be a vintage action figure? I did not see any.
No, I did not see one either.
Okay. Omega doesn't listen. Correct. Omega did not listen. She went ahead and did that tech turn, and she was flying around like a mad person, making
Mhm.
poor Tech sweat. So yes, Omega did not listen. The crew split up to buy some time. Yes, the clone crew led by Echo and who was it? It was Echo and Wolf or Gregor.
Gregor.
Echo, yeah, they split up. So yes, Rampart, there was no sign of Rampart still. I almost thought at first that he was going to be the prisoner we saw, because it started panning up. And I thought we were going to see Rampart, but no, it was actually Hauser. They did not mention that they were in debt. So that is a no. Boy, oh boy, they still did use stun. So yes, they were set on stun. That is a definite mark. Tarkin made an appearance.
Yes,
that was awesome. I wasn't expecting it. There he was. Hunter smiles when he should be upset. Hunter did a lot of frowning and smiling in this episode. So I don't know. What do you think?
I guess we can give it to him because he was doing both.
Yeah, he was doing both, but he really didn't have anything to be upset about.
Correct. Yeah. Well,
so
maybe the choice of when him and Echo are going back and forth about it, remember? And he was trying to say something, and then Echo was like, "We're doing it for our brothers," and he's like, "I know we are. What I'm trying to say is, so maybe at that point of where he didn't feel like his point was getting across. So I say we give it to him.
All right, we're going to give you that one because he did smile. So there we go. Did Omega outsmart anybody? No.
She lost the race.
Yes, she did.
I would have gave it to him if she won the race, but she lost the race.
Rex did not make an appearance, which is a shocker. I actually thought we were going to see some Rex tonight.
Yeah, so did I.
There was no appearance of Sid, so that is not a bingo. We have the mission goes bad. I don't know if the mission go bad? I mean, because everything seemed to, you know what? I will give them the mission goes bad because as they were getting that information, they couldn't stop the information from being deleted. So
they didn't get the full info.
They didn't get all the information and they had to bail before they could get as much as possible. So they only got a fragment of the information because the mission went bad. Yes, we had Crosshair in this episode. And no, we did not have Emperor Palpatine. So there we go. That is Bad Batch bingo and our Bad Batch recap for the day. I hope everybody other than Matt Logic, who claims to have yet another bingo. What the hell, awesome, dude? Though. What the hell? So congrats on another bingo there, Matt Logic. That's awesome. All right. So we covered the Bad Batch. We covered Bad Batch bingo.
Hey, Michael brought up a quick point real quick. He said, damn, I want none of what they were injecting into Crosshair's neck. Face blue and white eyes. That was cool to see our droid.
Yeah.
From, the whole Leia scene again. Yes. Come through with that needle. It does make you wonder what exactly is in
go
there.
Through?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
too.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible.
And then so you always think that they're laying there and they're taking that, right? I mean, we hear her scream, we see him. But remember Han's device?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that thing just
shocks
had to be, so that just had to be like, I feel 100 times worse every time I see the little flying one now,
Yeah.
Like whatever they had him in was, that's way rough.
No doubt. So Bad Batch bingo, we got that all covered. Is there anything else we need to talk about this week?
What do you think? God, the Mandalorian episode. Yeah, that's all done. Let's get right into it.
Let's transfer on to the Mandalorian. First off, I just want to put this right here, right now. Boom. Yes. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Kelleran Beck.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to what Chris was reading, he is the dean of the Jedi Academy. So all of the children answer to him as he is their dean. He's got that gold piping on his uniform right there or on his Jedi robes, which is very indicative of the High Republic. It brings back that. Just Ahmed Best killing it today. And what a redemption story for this guy.
Yeah. And plus I love nobody thought of this. We all thought who had Grogu, and it was sitting in front of our face the whole time, because for those of you listening, rewatch, whatever it is, and you don't know, there's more to this story. So yes, that's who he was, but they introduced him through YouTube Kids, Star Wars Kids, and he did all these challenges on YouTube with the kids saying that he was in charge of the younglings. And this was his character. So it was out there already. Yes, the Jedi Temple Challenge. There it is, Miss Sunflower. And nobody picked up on it. And so when I heard it, because it was called out before during the opening fight, and I'm like, who did they say? Who? And then we see him. It's confirmed definitely if you had on subtitles, and then to see him fight. And then if you do, and you went and did your lookup like I had to, you find that out. And also that he has a nickname of Saber Handed or something like that, because
Really?
he is dope with two sabers, and that's how he handles it. And we see that as he picks up the extra one and then just goes to town on everybody. He's
Yeah, it was
badass.
cool. It was so cool. And then,
What a
okay,
great
so
way.
exactly. So he gets Grogu. We're skipping. We're not going in order. Obviously, he's able to collect Grogu, to get Grogu, put him on a speeder, take off through through the skyways, the airways of Coruscant to a getaway vehicle that's waiting on standby, and it's a Naboo. What is it? A Nubian and Naboo
Yes.
starship, and I think somebody pointed out here, was it Miss Sunflower says it's Senator Jar Jar Binks's Nubian H cruiser.
Oh my God.
I'm at a loss for words right now.
If
I
that
think
is okay,
that's
so I screamed out. I thought we were going to see Padme, and I don't know why. Just because I saw the cruiser, right? I
right.
don't
But
know if
that
any of
cruiser,
you guys felt the same way, because I was like, "What the hell is happening? Are you serious?" Yeah,
right. But obviously she wasn't there because she's on her way to almost on her way to Mustafar. I think
correct. Right.
she's a day away from that.
But I still didn't know the timeline though, because I mean, we don't know, you know what I mean? They're still coming at
Yeah.
us, and we saw so many different troopers in here. All we see is the Flash, and I gasped. Yes,
Did
yes,
you?
Sabersmith, the Naboo guards, that I yelled it. And then one of our co-hosts on the Boba Squadron, Yoko, she does a
Yeah.
thing called Midnight 30 right after on Twitch.
Mhm.
I had to jump on there, and I was like, did anybody feel like Padme? Padme, because I don't know. I mean, it just triggers those thoughts in our heads right away, right? That
yeah.
you see it, and I was like, oh my God, no way. Like, is all this happening? I mean, because first you get, and I'm not trying to say it like this, but you get Jar Jar, and
Right.
what a redemption for Ahmed Best. And if you guys don't know that, not only because I saw a lot today, and I really wanted to go behind that keyboard, because everybody was like, oh, he was just the voice of Jar Jar, and I'm like,
No.
no, he wasn't. He was Jar Jar. He
Yeah.
was the character, the physical character. He had the head on top of him.
He wore the costume. It was his
Yes.
hands doing all the things with gloves
Yes.
on, and he had the little hat on that had Jar Jar's face, which is funny because before this week's episode aired, I was seeing a lot of behind the scenes of Jar Jar videos on Facebook and Instagram popping up.
Really?
Where it was a scene. There was a scene around the dinner table. And it was Ahmed Best in the outfit with little Anakin sitting next to him, looking up at the eyes of the hat, and talking about, whatever it was that they were discussing around the dinner table. A Jedi can't die, so but it was neat seeing him like that. And I'm like, oh, that's a cool. I haven't seen that video in years. It's interesting that it popped up today. And then the very next day, he's a Jedi master.
And like I was going to finish with too, Matt Logic. Yes, he is in every CGI character. He is a core part of everything. He is. You're right. It is a lot, not just that. He has this, and then he went through a lot of emotional stuff and turmoil and everything. He has a very long story if you don't know about it. So how great is that to be the savior of Grogu? And now that, yes, Miss Sunflower,
Right.
I don't know, because Annie said that was his friends. So what bigger connection is there here? Because your head could just spin into so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I was lying talking to myself all night last night because, like I said, I thought Padme, and then, okay, well, there's no Padme, calm down, but that is Naboo. Those were Naboo guards. So he goes there? But wait, Padme's from there. Anakin hid out there. Was he hiding Anakin at one time? There is just so much, like,
so many different things you can think
exactly of that it could happen.
And his last name, okay, so it's Kelleran Beck. In an Attack of the Clones, Ahmed Best played a character called Ahmed Beck. And apparently they're related. They're brothers or something along those lines.
Yes.
And
even better.
I'm like,
that's why? Cool. Because these nerds are going to destroy it and be like, no, he can't be that one because he was in here. Well, there you go. It's his brother. Now shut up and stand up and give him applause, because that was great. I felt it. It was so good.
It wasn't just, and this is what I thought. I thought whenever we saw him enter that, or right outside that elevator, I thought it was just going to be a moment where he collected He collected Grogu, put him on a ship, and they took off. But no, he grabs the lightsabers, and he's got a well choreographed fight against the clone troopers. It was amazing.
Oh, and like Corinne called out
happy.
a sidecar on the speeder.
Yeah,
it was dope, and how he went automatically on it. I was like, oh my god, that was crazy.
I love the fact that the speeder actually came down right in the same area where Dr. Pershing was last week at the summit of that mountain on Coruscant, in the middle of that the fair. That was so cool.
Yeah, it
was a quick callback to the last episode too.
Yes, yeah. Oh, there was so much, right? And like, oh my god, everything's tying together. It's just, it was great, but we still have an unfinished story because of how good that was. Okay, so now who saved him? Where were you taking him? Who were you talking about? There is so much more to that, which was great. You know, it was cool too, was seeing the shock troopers jump off. Yeah. So we had the 501st there. Then we saw the shock troopers who we know were around Palpatine and everything. So they jumped like, it adds so much to it. I mean, these guys are amazing.
Our theory crafting immediately, originally it was, okay, so did who rescued Grogu? How did Grogu end up in the hands of the pirates that had him originally? And a lot of our thoughts were going along with it had to have been I don't know who the hell we thought. We threw around so many different names that there's another layer to this now. So it's not just taking the kid and the pirates have the kid. No, now they've got to go through this whole, is it going to go to the path? Are we now going to see Kelleran as part of the path? Here we go again with the path. We always talk about that. And because
I think it has to, or this is the good start to it of saying friends and who he hands off to. It's going to be, oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah. Crystal coming up with Grogu hiding in his pram. That was funny. Every time something was coming at him, he would close the pram. And that was great. Overall though, we jumped right into the middle here, and we're just talking about the scene because it was so significant and so great. We're getting Grogu's history in these little tidbits, these little snippets of information. And the minute it was over, unlike last week's episode where it was great, started with Mando, we went to Dr. Pershing, whose story was not what we expected. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't what, I wanted more of what we were getting. Here we had one where we took a side turn. We went to this side story with Grogu and Kelleran, and the minute it was done, I was like, no, go back. Why isn't this episode 2 times longer?
And I loved how we got it too. Like I knew it was coming. And that whole thing, I mean, I know we'll get into it and everything, but that whole thing of the armor taking Grogu and like, come on. And oh my God, I was laughing so hard how she doesn't pick him up. She makes him walk, but everybody else picks him up, right? And he's like, has to hurry. He's like, bitch, slow down. God, everybody picks me up. Why aren't you picking me up? Yeah.
And I like the correlation between his flashback scene and Din's flashback scene, how it was the armor pounding on the metal, on the Beskar. And with every slam of the Beskar, it was a flashback until the story unfolded. It was a great callback to that scene in season 1 of The Mandalorian. All right. So the episode starts.
Yes,
I know, right?
Yeah, because I'm screaming in my seat.
Yeah. The episode starts at the world's greatest cosplay convention, where you've got just a whole bunch of Mandalorians on the desert shooting at, just practicing being badasses, practicing being I swear to God, this is what I have always wanted to see Mandalorians do. I've always wanted to see them hone their skills. And it did not disappoint. We had it
was dope. You had old ones, kids, all factions, not caring, everybody. There was challenges.
Yeah, I saw. Did you see the helmet that wasn't completely formed? It was held together with leather straps in the back. Yep. I'm like, I want to know the story behind that. Is that just a leather? Yeah, here we go. Crystal E, Mandalorian summer camp. Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm just screaming at the screen while this is going on because of all the different ones. And there was so many. There was some even there of of more unfinished helmets. I mean, I swear to God, I saw Hasbro helmets around there, the wide T visor and everything. I'm like, yes, I can wear it now, and it means it's canon. So like,
I just want to repaint it.
There was so much. Yeah.
Yeah. What a yeah, I'm gonna put Skyrider's comment up here real quick. What an opening. Congrats to Carl Weathers and the team. Mando's running out of fuel and the boom, Bo and hot pursuit. I was pumped. This is by far Carl Weathers' best episode. I mean, this was fantastic.
Yeah. You
absolutely.
son of a bitch. Yeah. That is it. And that is said with all praise too.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, why are you here?
Exactly.
But yes,
go watch Predator.
It was so good, man. It was just, yeah, like you said, all of them, the different training, still them trying to become something, it seems, right? Like we just can't let this go. We're not just here, because especially the factions, they all have to come together. Like, it's like, not that that's all out the window, but because we saw this peering through the hood looks of Paz to everybody of, like, he's got beef. And here it was where it turns out not, but it was cool. And then after this, then we cut to Grogu, and I love these stupid shots that make us on a tangent think something. And I thought, dude, he's sitting there with the Force moving all the rocks everywhere. And then it was damn creatures. I was like, son of a bitch. You got me.
Which works with Grogu though, because he's so good with creatures. He can.
There was that too. So that was my other thing. If he's not using the Force, does the Force bring creatures to him? Because there were so many. Because then he comes and he picks them up, and they all go away.
Yeah.
So what was it? It was bold. It was cool, but yeah, it was. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
But Din grabbing him, walking over, setting him down, and saying "challenge." It's like, wait, what?
Oh, and that they even told him, no, he's too young, too small. Nope, I'm his handler. He's cool. Go ahead. Let's do this. And not only that,
I'm his ward. He's Batman. Like he's freaking Bruce Wayne, and this is Ward. Dick Grayson.
Let's fight this snob and his dad. Let's go for it. That's what I felt like. Yeah. And then the challenge, and you pick it. And he says the darts. I was like, okay, what's going on? And it was like the paintball gun. That was cool. But that best part was him trying to get that big ass thing on his arm right there. So cool.
I loved him. Look, he's down on the ground and he says, challenge darts. And Grogu just looks up at him like, you serious right now?
Yeah. I love it. I loved it.
Absolutely.
The Bo-Katan part is the best.
Yeah.
Where she helps him put it on and says, my dad did the same thing to me. He's just proud of you. Do your best. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That was cool. Because if you see her, I don't know. I'm one of those. I love watching the background of what's going on too. Like you said, you caught that helmet, and I'm looking at all those too. But if you do, every time you see Bo-Katan in the background, she's literally like, she's really just checking everything out. Like, okay, wow, they really have a system here. This is all going on. And then to give him that pep talk was that was great. I mean, she really,
fantastic.
We could be seeing a change in her as well too. Or
I really think
a sense of maybe I do belong here. Maybe.
Yeah.
As we've gone through all these theories and everything about them, just so good. So good.
Such a change from last season where she was calling them all, zealots, religious zealots. And it's not that she's drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak. She's finding a place where she belongs.
Well, it's
the
all
people
history
that want her. She had to deal with people who wanted something from her in the past. They wanted to follow her. They wanted her to lead them. And now these people just want her there. They want her to be a part of their community. And I think that it really calls to her.
And then that's exactly what I'm feeling too. Like I said, all these factions together now on where everything is and it's that history. Our house doesn't go with your house. We have to battle you. Oh, we'll come together for war and all this. And I think maybe she's realizing at this time, it is time for her to write her own history, and with these, is that what's being done here?
She's going to join me for the rest of the show.
Yeah, it's dope. I really felt like I need that one now too. As she's been growing in these episodes, I'm like, oh, I think I need that Hot Toys, like
Yeah.
for reals, because she is really coming into her own. And you know what? I like the her and Mando gimmick. I do. And just like that, he's this, she's that. And then it comes to Grogu, she saved him. And then just like that, what she said to Grogu of your dad's just proud. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's like she really
I
gets it.
love it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
she went from being the person who was she was so skeptical of everything, and she's giving him the side eye as he's about to step into the living waters to get it redeemed. She was full of sarcasm, and now all of a sudden she's like she's being welcomed with the open arms, and you see the change in her, and I love it. It's definitely character development and an evolution of this character we've known now for what, 10 years. We've had Bo-Katan around for 10 years between Clone Wars and Rebels,
right,
and this, and
we've seen her story grow, so that's what makes it even more.
Yeah,
it's like you're saying, for this long we've been able to see that growth, through all her backstory in the cartoon. And I mean, we know everything about Bo, almost everything. And
I read her so wrong.
Yeah.
And I love to admit when I'm wrong. I love to be right, but man, whenever I read something wrong, I'm like, I read that wrong, and I can't wait to see where this goes. It's always so much better than I predict.
And that was, and again, as this scene takes place, so not only do we have Grogu and him going at it, which was badass, he gets the 2 hits, and he's like, really, Dad? And then he's like, come on, go ahead, it's okay, show them what you know.
Show them what you can do. Yeah,
doing his Jedi flips and everything. And then he gets him with the 3. He wins, he gets upset, walks away. And I love how proud Mando is. And then Bo even asked him, did you show him that? I wish we would have got more to that answer.
Yeah,
I wish he would have been like, no, Luke did. Remember the Jedi?
Right.
He went and saw Luke Skywalker. Like, that would have been a tie in there too. Like,
and Bo would have been like, Luke who?
Yeah,
Skywalker?
Yeah.
Another one of those punks?
Yes, it would. Oh my God, it would have been great. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It would. It would have. But I'd still like the. No, I didn't teach him that. But then we get this giant creature, the dragon, come in, snatch a Paz's kid because he was upset and just walked off, like to blow off steam. Like, I can't believe I lost or anything, and then get snatched up, and wow. And then that this has been happening. What the hell?
Yeah, they can't catch him because apparently they don't have a ship. I don't know how the hell they got to this planet in the first place, that they don't have a ship they could track this thing down. And Bo is that's my only gripe with the episode, is Bo is the only person to think 3-dimensionally and think, you know what? Let me get a ship and follow him. Maybe we can track it down.
But what a good leader thought, though, too.
I know, right?
As they all take off, and we see this, right? The jetpacks run out of fuel. Oh my God, crazy and awesome. So you can't just constantly fly around with those things. They can only be used for a little bit. And that is awesome.
Michael nostalgia. Something is always trying to eat that kid.
Yeah.
Seriously, if it's not Turtle Gator, it's this
for
flying
sure
bug-eyed monster.
Yeah.
And Space Australia planet hates Kid Vizsla. Which, okay, so enlighten me, Ernie. You're a little more. I mean, I think we're all kind of on the same level whenever it comes to Mandalorian knowledge and all that. But I do give you the heads up because you are, of course, the fallen Fett, the master of all things Mandalorian. Okay, so they say you rescued the foundling, but yet Paz says this is his son. Is it an adopted son like Grogu is to Din, or is this truly Paz's kid? And if it is Paz's kid, how is he a foundling whenever Paz is a member of the Mandalore of this covert?
Okay, so again, I don't know. That's a great question because I'm asking that myself. And then like that, who's the mom? But then as we think of all this that's going on, is they're calling everybody the foundlings. Is that now the rewritten history? That a young one. So we have younglings for Jedis, and for Mandalorians, we have foundlings. But I really thought it was like that. We take the foundlings, like Din's story. You take the children who need to be saved, somebody who needs to be saved, who wasn't a part of your family, like House Vizsla, House Kreese, everything like that. And that was a foundling. No, I was brought into this house. That's how it was. But now has that changed? Because I don't know. I would think that no, he saved him and he's calling him son, just as Din calls Grogu son. Right?
Right.
And we
Okay.
kind of get that, right? Because we didn't hear that the first time. That
Right.
wasn't mentioned. It was mentioned in this one, and it comes from Paz. But then just how Bo said in this one, we've all been saying it. Fans have been saying it about, oh, that's just his dad. That's his dad and
Right.
his son. That's the relationship. She
Okay.
literally said in that point of, your dad's just proud.
Right.
So I think when
More
you
of
take in
adopted thing.
a family, yes. So I think that he did. He took in this kid. This is his
That-
now to become part of his crew.
His clan, right?
Yes.
So that makes me wonder. So essentially, then Jango Fett was probably a foundling whenever it came to, wasn't it Jaster Muriel that was on his chain code, and Boba was, of course, his son. We saw what kind of a badass family
he gets birthed in. Remember, he said that.
Right, he gets birthed in. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I want to know, and do you think we will ever see who Din Djarin's adopted father was, who trained him, his ward? And do you think that is who we're going to get Christopher Lloyd as? Do you think Christopher Lloyd is going to be that character? Possibly.
It could be, because I was going to say, you know what? All we need is a mention, just exactly as you said, of Boba going through the chain code.
Yeah.
I think maybe when it comes time for Grogu to be past the foundling stage, I think that's when, like, you have to say it out, because you have to call through your family, right? Remember how Paz did when he was talking about the saber?
Yeah.
Usually go through your family to say your rank,
Okay.
you know, and like that. Everybody, Bo is so up there, everybody knows of House Kreese and how they were all the rulers and everything.
Right.
So you wouldn't expect her to go through her house, right? But
Right.
Boba had to go through it to tell
To
Din
prove
exactly
who he was.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So I was thinking maybe just a name, and then we could
Okay.
get it for sure in now the Filoni verse of this is what it means now. This is the meaning of it, because
Gotcha.
we still don't, like, you know, we got here Michael saying, you know, I thought Paz knocked helmets. Well, maybe, but we don't know too much, because then that was just, that's your son. Then he's a part of your house.
Right.
So,
Right. He's
or
not
like
necessarily
I
a
said,
foundling.
have we gone on to now of a foundling are the children of Mandalorians, the kids, any kids, just as we
Right.
call the little Jedis learning younglings, because we all know that there's no question of that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a hard one, but going into Din, maybe we will get some answers as if more factions show up, and we get to see that now. Because if you look, and again, in that opening scene was so awesome, there was a ton of kids.
Oh yeah.
They were all over, and they were always standing next to an adult.
Right.
So I was take it as like almost everybody has one or something.
And you could see there was even some that looked to be teenage stature, being trained more in the hand-to-hand combat.
And there was little too.
Yeah, little. Yeah. So I mean, what a cool way to see the way a clan develop. You know, a covert develops and grows. You know, not necessarily through blood, but also through, of course, the foundlings. And that was my main question about it was, okay, is it an adopted son, or do we think this is a biological son? But it makes sense that he would be like Din and like
don't know yet, because foundling used to be who you were taken by. You were brought into that house. So, you know, and other than that, you were born into the house. Right. So I don't know. Like I said, unless he's changed that now, we're gonna have to wait and see. But the way that I saw everybody standing next to somebody, I'm leaning towards more of now maybe just the kids are called that. I think so. We'll have to see. But she also said when they defeated together, if we go back of the armorer, when she said Grogu is now yours, that is your family, because of they were together and defeated him together. Remember, you were a clan of two, like they did something together. So I wonder too, do you have to do something together? You know, like take out, and that's okay. Yeah, that's your family. That's your kid.
Yeah.
And is he saying that's my son? But a little bit more to where I don't know is when he went after him, he was that's my son.
Yeah.
So
I know he was very emotional about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was funny because in our private chat that we have going on the side, we had joked around about it, saying, you know, we knew the episode was called The Foundling. We heard about that about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago. And the joke I made was, watch, it's going to end up being about the kid that was getting his helmet in the first episode. It's not going to be about Grogu at all.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, it's about all of them.
It's about everybody.
Yeah, it is. It's about, it's like, I think I just put up the Sabersmith. The episode was all about guardianship and fatherhood. And you're absolutely right. Even to the point where, so the winged beast captures Paz Vizsla's kid, takes him away. And I'm sitting here thinking, they sure are taking their sweet, easy time. There's like a day and a half that transpires between when the kid is taken and when they rescue him. And I'm like, how the hell did that thing not already feed its children with Paz's kid? You know, it's.
Well, it seems like I said was weird was that they knew of this, not as a schedule, but others have taken. And I don't know if you caught it or not. When they get to the nest, there was armor in there.
Yeah, helmet.
So
there was a child's
saying.
helmet.
So
and
I had thought the same thing. So it's like it's been doing this. So they may know of a timeline of like, we only have 2 days before we know that our people are dead. You know, that's what I was thinking. Because at first, you know, he stopped them from shooting. You're going to kill the kid. It's going to scare it. They ran out of fuel. Bo goes, finds out exactly where it is, and comes up with this plan.
Yeah.
And it does seem like the armor and Paz are the ones to run everything.
Yes, it does.
You know,
so we also got a little bit more information about the how life as a Mandalorian works. They're all gathered around a campfire, and they're cooking. And Bo asks the very obvious question I've wondered a few times myself: how do we eat? And I love exactly. I love the fact that they're so strict about it. They take their food and walk away from each other to find a place to eat. And since she was leading the hunting party, she got to stay at the fireside as an honor. And I'm like, that's just cool. Yeah, that's just a level of respect there for that's cool. I'm digging that. And
it was an easy answer too, right?
Yeah.
An easy answer of no, you gotta go eat somewhere else. You get your food and go eat by yourself.
Yeah, we've seen Din in the past, you know, just lift up his helmet a little bit, take a sip of soup and put his helmet back down. I thought, man, that's going to take forever for everybody around that campfire to eat if they're all just kind of, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a really cool little tidbit of Mandalorian society right there that I really enjoyed. So they scale this giant ass mountain. And I love the fact, number one, Bo kind of calls out Paz because in the preparation for this mission, she's like, we're going to have to scale this mountain. And he's like, that's impossible. We can't scale this mountain. And she's like, please, I scaled this when I was doing my basic training back on Mandalore. You got this, big guy. You know, I mean, that was cool. I like that she called him out on that. But again, leading the charge, you can do this, you know, come with me and we can pull this off. But so they scale this mountain using these extra long grappling lines, which the the armor provided him with. That was really cool. And then, hey, look, we got Grand Admiral Franz joining us again. Let's go ahead and let him pop in.
Oh,
hey,
good.
Look who made it home.
What's up, homies? Sorry about that. I didn't want to wreck it, man. As soon as I started seeing the break, I'm like, I'm not going to do this to the guys. I'm gonna be a distraction. So I didn't want to.
That's okay.
That. So,
So I guess we just need to start over. No, I'm kidding. So
Bad Batch.
So
where are you at?
They scale the mountain and they're headed up towards there, and they get up to the top, and as they're peering over the edge and they're looking into this nest, you actually see gnats flying around like what's probably a dead body under that. And I'm like, that's a really gross little attention to detail right there. That's kind of cool. And there's they turn on the heat-seeking infrared goggles there, and they see something buried underneath, but there's also little spots of other heat in there. And I'm like, ooh, there's some body parts in there. It's nasty.
Yeah.
So
like I said, this has been going on. And then you saw the armor.
Yeah.
Like all around there was different pieces. So
like
this creature
fresh.
has been doing this. Yeah.
They mentioned it. This thing has grabbed foundlings. This thing has grabbed us. It's been a problem, right? They are living on this planet with like a prehistoric planet.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Getting jacked around.
Yes.
But when you want to hide somewhere nobody wants to be. I mean, who else
True.
wants to hang out on that planet, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of it's neat. You know, remember the whiteboard when they did all their things and stuff? And they said dinosaurs was on that whiteboard, and I thought we were all like, "What the hell are you putting dinosaurs? These are dinosaurs, right?
That's true.
These
They really are.
and it's
It's
tons
true.
of them.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so this scene, my only gripe was pause.
Oh, I love
What
it.
the hell, dude, that you were trying to climb up with your gun and everything? Like, I get all the other Mando. That one, okay, so we had a classic Batman scene where I wish we would have got it for 2 seconds. I wish we'd have seen two just do that walk.
Oh yeah, with
the Batman.
Down.
I would have
Just-
loved it.
Just one kind of did, right?
Yeah,
and it
yes,
looked,
and that's where I was calling it.
horrible. Yeah.
And then we get the Tom Cruise Mando who did the swing for no reason. And did the swing around. That was great. And I was like, okay. And then you cut to pause and and I'm like, dude, you could have left something for reals. Like, you are the biggest dude and you're still climbing with everything.
We already know he's not going to shoot because he said, "Don't shoot, you'll hit the kid."
Right.
So he's
Yes.
carrying around this big gun.
Yeah.
He doesn't shoot once. He could have just left it at the base of the mountain to make himself a little lighter.
Yeah, that's all I was thinking. I was
No.
like, come on, guy.
What I loved about this scene right here was when they scanned it and everything, and they're taking their time. And Paz has been very patient this entire time, right?
Yes.
Been cool, been collected.
Yes.
As soon as
My
he thought
boy!
as soon as he thought he was there, man, he was going for it. And even everybody's like, "Stop!" You know, we don't. But wasn't it Bo said, "Let's investigate first," you know? And here's Paz, just jump right in. So I dig that. You see that he does have a connection with the kid. The rest of the time, it's been like proud or kind of getting at him about the hey, don't speak unless unless you know, right? So he's been either scolding or proud. We hadn't seen this worried, happy, like, oh, I get him, type of thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of neat. Cool deal.
There was a question
son-
real quick, Chris, and I do want to know about your answer real quick is, do you think that was his kid or do you think he's a foundling?
I think he's a foundling only because she said it a couple times, right? She told Bo, you just did the most righteous thing you could do in saving a foundling. And earlier on, she talked about him being they took the foundling, they said. And before I was thinking, no, because they keep saying dad and kid, but they do with Din and Grogu too.
And okay,
Exactly.
so that
Yeah.
brings up the other thing now, though. Has our thing changed in the Filoni-verse of where we have Jedis or younglings and our to Mandalorians are foundlings?
And become apprentices, they said. that was wild.
Like, is there that? Do you get what I'm saying? So
there are
Instead of-
levels.
you know,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, and not necessarily levels, but just bearing a child. And that child, instead of being called a youngling, is called a foundling. Like, you've never seen somebody, oh, this is my baby, oh, this is my youngling, Is the Mandalorian society, instead of saying, oh, this is my youngling, this is my foundling? That's what you're getting at, right?
I think when they say the foundling, they literally find them, right? I think they have younglings too. I think
That's what I was trying to go with.
they think they do procreate too, but they save people as well.
Cool.
So I would think, and the reason the foundling part really makes sense is because in Boba Fett, they had said there's only the 3 of us. Paz said that. He didn't say there was 4 of us. That kid would have been known if it was his. So they found these people. And they brought them in.
That's true. Yeah.
He did say that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it shows how much time has passed too. They've got a whole covert again with kids.
Yeah.
So
All right.
So, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, he's really attached to this kid after, apparently just finding. But I'm thinking, well, so's Din. So's Din with Grogu. Din would jump
Big
into
time.
a nest full of Gundarks to save Grogu.
after literally
he
2
has.
days. Right?
Exactly. He has done that after 2 days. So yeah, absolutely makes sense.
Yeah.
And I do love how Bo and Din were both. No, come on,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
here we
Both
go.
of them. We're about to get down again.
Yeah.
And Din's gonna get in trouble, and Bo's gonna save him somehow again.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with, by the way. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
At this point,
It was
where
great.
Din keeps about ready to die, and she keeps about saving him. And
So
It was very cool.
here's a scene that really grossed me out, and I gotta wonder what that youngling or the foundling smells like after being in that creature's gullet for God knows how long. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
Blah.
yeah, feeling like Boba and the
nasty.
Sarlacc, right? He's got something in common when
Right.
they meet. That was pretty gross.
And I was wondering in my head, okay, this is Disney, but what are we about to see right now? Literally, like, were we going to see parts? Because that whole scene again of the little heat sensors around, and we got the armor everywhere. I really wasn't expecting a whole ass kid to come out. I really wasn't, and I was
No,
like, oh,
at all.
Okay.
Because then I'm
All
thinking
right,
about
yeah.
where was this bird?
Yeah.
Like, where did it
Yeah.
go for this long? Because they've gone back. Bo went to it, went back. It had
Yeah.
nest. She saw where the nest was, so this thing kept it in there. He didn't gag him up immediately. He like went off again. That was
Correct.
weird.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get
Yeah.
into animal plot lines, but that was weird.
No.
You know?
But it's just gross.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
gross
It is
and
gross.
kind of weird that it
Yeah.
left with it.
And-
So
And it's also like the longest rescue known to man. You know, it's the kid's taken, and I mentioned this to Ernie a bit ago. The kid's taken, they fly out, they come back, they plan, they fly out, they take a nap, they get up
Yeah.
in the morning, and then they start climbing. I'm like, how is this
Yeah.
kid still alive?
there is no sense of urgency anywhere in these shows because that happened too when Bo and Grogu were going to save Din when he was trapped by the spider monster, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were cruising. They were just walking down hallways and Bo was talking about knowing Jedi, right? While
Yeah.
Din's sitting in there dying, getting his blood sucked out. There is no sense of urgency in any of this
That's
stuff.
true. That's true.
They're
She
just
was reminiscing, like,
Yeah.
oh, I used to play here.
Yeah,
I used to-
I'm gonna fly over here. I'm gonna fly
Yeah.
back. We're gonna chat. We're gonna
Yeah.
go back, chat some more, go do the thing. It's like
And
save
Grogu
this
was
kid.
like, my dad is dying. What
Yeah.
are you doing?
Why are we chatting this?
Yeah.
It's like weird. Good stuff.
Yeah, but so that's pretty much where we're at here. You know, they rescue the kid. Okay. So
Well, he
in the
had-
middle of
he
the
had
rescue,
paws.
the bird
Oh, yeah.
takes pause and takes the young Vizsla and flies away, and everybody's got to jet off to save him. Luckily, they had enough time in all their planning to refuel their jetpacks, and they go out there. And
That was neat. We talked about that, I assume,
That was
right?
so
How
cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
running out of fuel is just neat. I don't know
Yes.
why.
Yeah.
Because you just
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Because
Yeah.
because it makes it a little bit more real. Of,
Yeah.
of just that. So they can't fly all the time.
Yeah.
In season 1, Din runs out of fuel in his gauntlet. You know, whenever he's trying to burn something, he runs out of
Oh,
fuel in
yeah,
his gauntlet. So
Mhm.
this isn't the first time we've seen it, but the first time we've seen it with the jetpack, which
Yeah,
is really cool.
which it is neat because these jetpacks are pretty OP, right? I mean, they're flying around against TIE fighters and doing things. So if it was infinite, that would probably be a problem. So it makes total sense. Total
Yeah.
sense.
But they end up, they struggle to save the child. They save the kid. Din saves the kid. As the kid's falling, he flies down real fast,
Yeah.
scoops him up and saves him. And they use these snares on the beast's wings to drop him into the water. And out comes another Ala Gator and scoops it up straight up Jurassic World style. And,
Well,
as Qui-Gon said, there's always a bigger
fish. Yeah.
There's always a bigger fish.
There's always
Yeah.
a bigger fish.
Yeah,
That's exactly
good
what I
stuff.
said when it happened. I was like, yes.
Yeah, no, good stuff. And what is cool is the change in everybody right now, right? These guys are all together. These are all a house or a house, right? They all have different clans. But
That's
it would
what I
be
was
a
saying.
house, right?
Yeah.
So, it's really neat how they're all coming together. Because now a pause here with Din is completely changed, and with Bo.
Yep.
After what he's seen,
Yeah.
they're all one unit, and that's what's cool. And I taped a hot topic on the way down there, right? A hot topic. I don't do it enough to know my own name anymore. and that was kind of the discussion in there was about that.
Yeah.
So we'll get into it.
So
Yeah,
while
it
this
is.
while this rescue was going on, something else was happening, and we saved this talk for you, Chris. We didn't know you were joining on, but I'll just say we saved this for you, where this happened.
Oh dear God. Yeah.
So tell us, how do you feel about this?
Well, yeah, boy. I don't need a Flavor Flav clock on Grogu. This is weird. He already has chainmail, right?
Yep.
So if he's already wearing the armor on him that's not going to be penetrated, I would think a pauldron. When she started, that was a helmet. I thought when it was
So did
round,
I.
like because it was
Yeah.
with the Ragnar, right? His was round, just like that when she made his helmet. So I'm like, oh, here we go. He's getting a helmet. I'll be damned. This is happening. And then she gives him this thing, and I'm like, well, I don't get it. I should have a pauldron. Yeah, I get a shin guard. Even I get a helmet. I get anything. This is weird. I don't know. Man.
But the one thing is, they made it. She attached it to him, so it's going to be used. It will have some effect in the near future in the next couple of episodes to where it will somehow save his life.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
I'm
don't think it
sure.
will take too long to figure that out.
Yeah, but but isn't it weird to like double up? She just gave him armor. He has chainmail.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
totally
it'd be-
weird.
I thought it
If
was
we
a
see
helmet
him
too.
grab it, if we see him grab it and use it as a shield or something, I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
and that's possible. It's so weird, man. And that's probably what's going to happen, or he'll throw it like a disc or like Captain America. I don't know what the hell is going to. It was just a weird piece. Something we hadn't seen before on anybody. I don't see any of these medallions on anybody.
No, and that's what I was going to say. So the chat is making some great points right now. Like, she does say he'd grow into it, yes. And then but he won't get his helmet until he speaks the creed. But still, I thought it was her like presenting it to him of like, when you're ready, this can be yours. You and your father. I thought she would get into a story like that. So yes, when I saw this piece, that's the thing is, I don't know what this is used for. And I forgot to look up the word of what she called it. It started with an R.
She did call it something, huh?
Like Randor or something.
Did.
And I wanted to look that up because
that's He-Man's dad.
I wanted to know what that means because I don't even know what this piece is. So even saying that of you'll grow into it, I don't know exactly like where does this go?
Yeah,
is that
sure
is
Miss
that
Sunflower
circle?
Or is this the piece like we talked about this? We thought it was a helmet, and maybe she'll just reforge this.
Or
like
I was thinking
it's holding on for it.
The Pauldron, I don't know.
There we go, Skyrider. It's a Rundell.
Yeah,
Okay.
Something to that, and I was like, okay, what is that though? So yeah. I don't know. Or does this get bent into the shoulder piece?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's the first piece of the till it's a pauldron, right? So I don't know, man. That was weird, but I'll deal with it because
it's so
big. What we do. Yeah,
and we're talking about that you have to. You're conserving all of this right now. So.
Yeah. But now he's walking around like this clunky chainmail and this big old medallion, dude. And I'm like,
you can hear him coming. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
and I made the point too, Chris. If she's a mean grandma. She won't even pick him up. No. She makes him walk everywhere, and now she just made him heavier.
Right?
And he's like,
I love it.
If he doesn't keep falling forward,
right?
He's gonna get him in shape one way or another.
You know what I really dig? They don't treat him any different. Right?
No.
It's like, it's so weird. These guys are, as far as we know, humans, not humanoid. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think there's any Chiss or Pantorans or anything under there, right? I don't think. But, because you don't look at the hands, there's like not a Aqualish or anything in this group. So to have Grogu there, so tiny, so everything, and really the only question Ragnar had was, why doesn't he have a helmet? You know, they just treat him like nothing, like it's totally normal. I love it.
First off, okay, Viking name Ragnar. That's
rocks.
freaking amazing. I can't wait to see this kid grow up and become a badass Mandalorian. But
or die in the finale.
I'm still saying that it's Kylo Ren undercover. Han dropped him off to learn the way of the Mandalorians because he was being a dick, and now he's sitting here. Look at his hair. We got little Kylo just as we want.
It's kind of like little Kylo, yeah.
Right? And now because he has to learn the ways of the Mandalore, because the only person who kicked Han Solo's butt was Boba. So you go learn from those guys and learn how to fight, because I need to know what's going on. So that's where I still think he is.
So at this point, he now has his rondelle. The kid is safe. And in the melee, whatever, they're rescuing young Vizsla, Bo-Katan loses her shoulder pauldron. So the armorer, whenever she brings her three new foundlings.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, real quick, the birds. That's crazy. They're going to ride those bitches. You know they are.
Oh, yeah,
all of
absolutely.
Them. They're going to saddle and talk about they don't have a ship yet. Nope.
They're gonna,
but we got these.
Boba's coming with the Rancor to wherever they are. That's gonna happen again. We're gonna have these three flying thing. Oh, on Mandalore. It's gonna happen on Mandalore because the Mythosaur has to be on Mandalore. So you have the Mythosaur with Din and Grogu riding that thing, right? And then you're gonna have three, the Armorer, Ragnar, and someone and Bo. No, Bo will be in the gauntlet.
You think she keeps her ship?
She's in the gauntlet. Yeah. And then and Paz. The three of them on a flyer and Boba on a Rancor. That's like a ridiculous. I'm literally playing with my toys outside. Right?
Oh, yeah.
That's absolutely because you just pulled in Jurassic Park pterodactyls.
I was just gonna say that
because you didn't have anything like that.
It was your birthday. It was your birthday, so you got Jurassic Park toys. Yeah. You got that. You have your Transformer standing as a statue. So everything.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, because it hit my head and I'm going to forget it. You know, one of my hopes for not so much this show, but Ahsoka later, since Filoni's doing it, is I want to get the Kenner figures to show up in live action, like dressed. I don't know why that came up to my head. I just wanted to do it because I might forget that thought.
Like
But
get
I
a
wanted-
walrus man and
Yes, in a hammerhead and just a blue onesie, and just walking around. I just want that because he does it in everything. And sorry, that was a random
good.
thought.
No, I like it.
That's cool.
Off
I like
topic.
it.
Thank you.
Okay, now Bo with her families, the birds,
Thinking
the
about the
pterodactyls.
toys is what I was thinking.
Yes.
Took me there. Okay, so
Yeah,
pterodactyls, yes.
So now Bo needs a new shoulder pauldron. The armor is like, I got you. Come on, let's go do this.
That made my day. Just saying,
know.
come with me and follow. No questions again. They've just taken them in, and it's awesome. Love it.
And what is it the armor says? She says, you just did the greatest thing you could possibly do for the
Save a
covert,
foundling.
for the save a foundling. Not only that, I brought you 3 more. Here come the birds, and give me a pauldron.
Yeah.
So here
she
Here
is.
we are.
She's been feeling like a failure for a very long time.
Yeah.
Right. So for Bo right now is felt like she's a hero to these people. Again, this is where she was years and years ago, right? She's being brought into a family she hasn't had since her sister died. She's connecting with people again because you saw how unloyal her people were. As soon as the saber was not hers, they bounced. And she even made that comment to Din. Just wave that thing around, they'll follow you anywhere, because they weren't following her anymore. They were following the saber.
they were following the promise of the saber.
Yes, and it's just, it's neat to watch that change, and completely misdirected us from the beginning. So love it. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Back to the armorer.
So Bo is sitting there as the armor is making her new pauldron, and she asks, would it be cool if, I had the night owl symbol on one arm and the mythosaur on the other arm? And she's like, the mythosaur is the symbol of all Mandalorians. Of course.
I loved it.
Me too.
Be one of
I
us.
was all, yes.
Okay, but that did for Ernie too, I'm sure, because I'm sitting here all the time with this signet, right? And I'm
Yes.
like, okay, it's on her wall, but it's on
Yeah.
Boba Fett's arm. Why is it on Fett's arm? He's not the clan of, that's not his signet. So them to explain that, and we kind of thought it last when they had the flags, right? When they did the 2 flags,
Yes.
this must be the house, and this is with me Mandalore, and that's what it came out to be. But really cool that they explained it out. I loved it.
Well,
They changed the
I
whole
think
thing.
Didn't Bo say it that the mythosaur became, whenever they were
Yeah.
on the planet, they said the mythosaur was the symbol of all Mandalore.
Yeah.
But her getting that reinforced, that yes,
Yeah.
you can have this piece, and actually seeing it like not just painted on like Boba's,
Yeah.
but actually a piece that's
Yeah.
welded onto the armor.
I need
my
a new
God.
tattoo
Yeah.
because that was different. Did you catch
It
that,
was.
Chris?
The
It's
clear
a little
on the
bit different.
bottom.
So we have the flags, which is classic mythosaur, the Boba, and then we had the new skull in the back that's hanging above her thing. That's new.
Mhm.
And then this that she made was different as well. It almost looked like a mix between the very first Boba Fett and this one.
The long one.
Yeah, do you remember the one that looked like a bird with just the head and the nose?
Yeah. The long.
That's
It was
kind
super
of-
long. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it, because I keep pausing it. I keep trying to see it. And then I thought, am I thinking too much because it's like a mold? So is that the mold popping out that she's it's
Probably
going to show us?
Yeah.
It could be.
It's going to show us that it is our signet, or is it different?
Or she did also make a comment to Bo that her armor and her armor is kind of a mix of old and new. So maybe that's a new variation of the mythosaur to go along with her old and new armor.
Hey, so with this piece on there not matching anything else, is she about to din it? Is she going chrome?
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, clan
Yeah.
of 3. They don't need to be mixed up in love, right? They don't.
No,
Mandalorians
no.
don't need that. But they
Yeah.
can be part of the same clan with Grogu and just be
I
all
was just
chromed
saying,
out.
I love their camaraderie because I don't feel like it's
Yeah.
a thing. But like how she explained to Grogu about my dad did that and everything, she saved in. It may be a connection with Grogu. I don't need a love connection, but together they're dope. So
Yeah.
I would definitely take that. I would. And here I am. I'm going to call my own self out because I was a dick this whole episode, and I've been a dick of because I wanted Bo and Armor to fight. I wanted there to be a story of them knowing each other because they were talking crap about each other. So they obviously do know each other. She was saying how they're crazy, Bo was, and then she was saying the same thing about Bo of, well, you don't know there, like that.
She's
And
a
it is-
cautionary tale.
Din stuck in the middle. So they were talking crap. So last week's episode, I wanted her to call out like her real name. Like, I know who you are. You know what I mean? And then after that, when I saw this, I was really thinking in my head, is Bo trying to show off to them? You know, I'll save your kid. I know where the mythosaur is. I thought she was like trying to plan this head. This is how I come back.
That's where my head was too. That's
but then
I don't
you
want
had
it to
this
be now.
scene, and she went right when she said, "Can I get the mythosaur?" And I was like, "No, she's not." Like, I knew. She then asked her, tells her I saw one. That blew me away because I thought she was going to keep that to herself.
It would come out to Din if anything, but not to the armorer.
Not to the armorer.
Yeah.
So that's where the whole time I was like, "Oh, my bad. I've been a dick this whole time," because I thought you were trying to come up. I thought this was going to be a scheme and everything, and instead
that's the entire basis of that thing I recorded. Is how we
Yeah,
all went
really?
through. We all went that direction, right? We
Yeah,
all went this negative direction, and there's no negativity at all.
I called her out at the beginning of the season. I'm like, what? She's going to be the antagonist this entire season. She's going to be the villain. I was prepped. I was prepped and ready for it. So
yeah.
it's,
So yeah, here's
great.
Oops, sorry. My kid was asking for keys or something. Yeah, but this is part of the other talk I'll have is I rewatched Rebels again, right? But I only wanted to really focus. I watched it all, but I really focused on the Mandalorian stuff and Bo specifically. Bo is not the person we made her out to be at all. Like, she never was reaching for power. They were giving her power, and she didn't want it. Like, Sabine tried to give her she said, "No, I'm not the leader they need right now. I need Mandalorian brought together. You know, I need." She wasn't about me. She was about the whole Mandalore race, right? And through till the end. And the only reason she took the Darksaber in the very end, and she held it over her head, is because the Sabine, Ursa, and everybody outside, all the Mandalorians were asking her to. She did it for the Mandalorians. She didn't do it because to take it. Now, when she talks in the Mandalorian about taking power and ruling Mandalore again, and showing pride in all this stuff, I don't think it's again to rule. It's a matter of I need to do this to bring everybody back because look what happened. You know,
to unite everybody.
So at this point, if she's seeing Din, as we talked about, kind of, I don't know if we talked about it on here. I think we did, about Din being kind of the chosen one, right? And I'm thinking probably a descendant of Mandalore the Great, that kind of thing.
Amazing.
If she has somebody, if she has somebody to follow, and she said that, her and Fen Rao talked about it. If she had somebody to follow, and the Mandalorians have somebody to follow, she'll back them up. And she was ready to back up Sabine. She'll back up Din. Right, if when she sees all this stuff happen and everything goes on, she'll back it. It won't be even a problem. Hold on one second, guys. So,
no problem.
Sure.
So yeah, with that too, what he's saying is, I was also, Miss Sunflower had said it too. To add to that was the whole thing about the armorer side. So we were thinking that about Bo, and then the armorer too, because I was on the same thinking as Miss Sunflower. I had said this in another show, was that I had thought, did she send Din there because she does know the mythosaur is there and like it was going to attack him? And that was a way to get rid of him. I really did, because I'm thinking just this whole battle in my head. Yes, Crystal, that she still seems a little bit suspect of her answer, right? Like, she was really like, well, when you're, maybe you were dreaming, or what she say, something like it was
you were having
vision.
a vision. Yeah,
it's common when you're going through these types of things to have a vision. And she's like, no, it was alive. It was real. And she's all, she pulled the that thing. So,
sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Gotcha.
how did it look?
If I
What's
wasn't,
his name?
if I could take my helmet off, you'd see me winking right now.
Right. That's exactly what was happening there. So it's going to have to be a show. I mean, it's going to come up obviously in the next 4 episodes, but I think it's hilarious that the biggest believer had no faith, right? It's like that doesn't happen. Because she's even the one. It's said that the mythosaur will come back and herald in a new age of Mandalore. Yeah. And here it is. She's telling you that there's a Darksaber back. All this stuff's going on. The world's not poisoned. There's a mythosaur, and she's not believing. And I think that's hilarious. Is the non-believer believes right now, and the believer, it couldn't possibly be true.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, and it's all over the place. But it is so good, because at the end of this, I was like, oh my god. Nothing at all of what I thought was happening, and that's what made it so good. Like, it was,
now we're gonna have to deal with some negative Mandalorian stuff because they're still broken off, right? So I'm waiting for Christopher Lloyd's character to come in here and play a part, and we've
I
already
had a theory
heard
about that earlier.
Cool. Oh, did you? Okay, cool.
We'll get to it in a second.
Is he okay? Because again, Rebels, they had Imperial commandos, that had gone off, which couldn't bring Thrawn in, right? You had not the Protectors, that's Fen Rao of Concord Dawn, but you had different sects. And the Saxon group. We talked about Gar Saxon last week, and it got all confused. Gar Saxon died in Clone Wars. His brother was in Rebels, right? Okay. So that's the way that worked. But you have that whole clan of folks, too, that still can still exist. So he's going to be in there, and he's going to be the nemesis Mandalorians until
That'd
the end.
That'd be great.
What was your theory? Just real quick. I know.
My theory was, so we were talking about the Foundlings. It was right before you popped in, and how Paz Vizsla's foundling is this young child, and Grogu's, of course, is Mando's foundling. What if Christopher Lloyd ends up being Din Djarin's ward, the one who brought him up through the ranks of the Mandalorians? Because he had to be trained by a badass, and I know Doc Brown isn't exactly what you'd consider a badass, but it would be cool if it ended up being
different. Yeah,
he could do anything.
Yeah,
I think it'd be kind of cool to have that, to have him as Din Djarin's ward, his
that would be cool.
And maybe that was him who scooped him up at the end. Yes, that's cool.
It is much of the kind of the 3D effect, but it's cleaner. The teeth are cleaner.
Yeah, and the whole eye thing. We don't have the.
Yeah, it's more like hers.
Crack.
Yeah. There's no crack in the skull. It's it's cleaner. It's like hers. It's like hers on the wall.
Yeah,
just not as rounded. Cool. Yeah, I love it.
So I need a new tattoo.
Yeah. Well, it makes me feel better about mine's not perfect. Mine's not like yours. When I was 18, I was too stupid to tell the guy. He's all, "Hey man, I cleaned it up." I let it go
for
on.
real? Yours is clean?
Mine's very clean on the bottom. It's sharp edge.
God.
It's sharp edge, like almost like a sword coming down.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you already have this one. Oh.
If mine didn't taper out just a touch, it would be. Yes.
Matt Logic is bringing up a quick point, which I was kind of wondering about that myself. I think the armorer knows about the mythosaur. She's been getting water from there. Maybe she needed the new Mandalore to find a mythosaur and complete the prophecy to unite Mandalore.
I would normally be one of the ones that would jump into all that, right? I'm really thinking we just overshot all this, and it's not going to get that deep. It's just baby. Yeah. And I'm not, me. I want to dive all day.
Yeah.
With the last couple episodes, I really think they're keeping it very simple for us and just bringing these people back together. I don't think there's anything wrong going on.
Nefarious going on in the background.
It's funny. I had that in my head to say, and I've used nefarious a lot lately. I need to stop. I
got you.
And I pulled back to just bad. That's those are the two words I know.
It's even going to be the complete opposite to where they end up having this big ship, and Bo brings everybody to come see the mythosaur. Look, it's real.
See,
and we're just oh.
The thing we got to get to the point too. We got to forget. Okay, Gideon's still here.
Yes.
Right. So Gideon is going to have probably Saxon's old group, and that's probably where they get the Praetorian Guard stuff. Right, it might not even be Praetorian Guards. It's Saxon's group, or the Imperial Commandos are still there, because there were two different troops that Gideon is leaked to supposedly have, and I think they're all kind of Mandalorian looking. So you can still have those two groups. We haven't seen them yet, so I think that's what's going on. So I think that's probably where we're actually going to see Chris Lloyd is on that set. That'd be cool.
Okay. Oh, what if so you're thinking maybe he's a Saxon? Maybe he's one of the.
I'm hoping.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because I know the actor that did the voice from of Gar Saxon or his brother. I know who he is. He's a really good actor. He was in Rome, and I wouldn't mind seeing him take it, like Bo-Katan. How Katie Sackhoff took that role on after doing the voiceover.
Fen Rao is supposed to be in it. That's the rumor right now, right? The Fen Rao actor is rumored to be in it to reprise to reprise a role, and the voice at least. And it's not going to show his face. It's all he needs to do. So Fen Rao is supposedly going to show up. Fen Rao shows up, that really puts you in Sabine territory. Yeah.
And, we're still... Yeah, Kevin McKidd. There we go. That's actually Fen Rao. He's actually who I was thinking about, not Saxon. He's the voice of Fen Rao. So my question to you is, we're still dealing with this faction of Mandalore where they don't take their helmets off. It's the first time we've ever seen or heard anything like that, even though we've been steeped in Mandalorian culture for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
I want to see the origin of this particular group. I want to see, where they came from, who they were, if Fen Rao and Death Watch were all on Concord Dawn, but Din Djarin was raised on Concordia, is that the difference? people on Concordia, they were raised under this very strict religious code. That would make sense to me. What do you
like?
think?
Yeah, like each moon is different. That's where you're
Yeah.
getting all your stuff, right? Kind of like the Chiss worlds kind of do. Not as
Right.
separated, but you have a lot of worlds in the Mandalorian system. So yeah, I think so. A lot of that. Now they're children on the Watch, so you got to figure. And we've seen in the Night Watches who saved Din, right?
Right.
They had the gear. So
Death Watch.
Death Watch. Sorry, Night Watch. Night Owl, Death Watch, whatever the hell. I'm getting all screwed up. So Death Watch is the one that saved him. And these are the children on
Yeah.
the Watch. So they're going to be connected there, right? So I suppose that's where the connection comes. And they said the Creed is what saved them. This Creed is what kept them together. So they probably, right after the Purge, started really diving into that's what gets people together, right? When there's a big, massive, chaotic event, people start believing in different things. Or, you go to jail, you start believing. People survive something, they start believing. So here we are. These guys survived the Purge, and now they're going to believe in the Creed and keep themselves alive. And did mention it in here. Without the Creed, what are we? You know? So I think that's probably where it started. I bet, and I'm sure we'll see something like that or get some information about that.
We seem to be getting little bits trickled in. So I'm so greedy. I want it all now,
Yeah, no, I know.
We get these little tidbits of, it's like I was telling Ernie earlier, last episode was great. I really enjoyed last episode. We had a little bit of Din, then we had this long Dr. Pershing story, then we had a little bit of Din and Bo at the end. This one we had some Din and Bo, and then we had this middle section with Grogu where we started filling in that backstory. And unlike the Dr. Pershing story, I was like, okay, cool, we're back with Din and Bo and all that. We go back to Din and Bo and this. I'm like, no. I need more of this history of Grogu. And I like the way they're filling in those gaps. And I'm hoping that after their stories are a little more fleshed out, that we get more of the Mandalorian history fleshed out for us.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to get Grogu's done, to be honest. I want to be done with that and deal with the Mandalorians only. I just want to know Grogu's now. Because I was I was disappointed when we saw the Naboo Starfighter and that was it. I'm like, oh, come on. I got to still guess and theorycraft who that was now. Where'd you guys land on it?
On
Don't
what?
know who he's going to.
The Naboo Starfighter, whose it was.
Miss Sunflower said it was Senator Binks. It was his Naboo Starfighter.
Yeah, I'm thinking makes sense. The only two options. It's not Padme. Period. Because at the time
I was screaming Padme at night.
No, and right in this moment, right here, it couldn't be because the Anakin shit's happening. Right, she's over there watching, and she's not anywhere near the temple. Or anywhere near any of this. So it's not her. It's only going to be either Binks or Sheev. But Sheev doesn't make any sense. Really, because they wouldn't have needed to get away. He wouldn't have piloted himself because he knows where he's going.
Yeah.
Right, and they wouldn't have blocked for him that way. So it has to be Binks. It has to be Jar Jar. Mm-hmm. So and with Ahmed Best in already, absolutely zero reason that it wouldn't be. Yeah. Right, and we know Filoni writes Jar Jar. So he's had him in his shit. So it's gonna happen. That's where I'm at too. And am I happy about it? Anybody?
No, God, I'm loved
thrilled.
it.
I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled.
Well, we want more because who are the friends that he was going to?
Yeah.
Where did they crash? It cut off, and we still have a whole nother story there. So,
but once he gets to Naboo, it's a problem because remember that's Palpatine's home world. All this, it's a lot of issues if they go there. It's so
we keep saying Hondo, and I mean Hondo is a friend of the Jedi. That could be the link right there. I mean,
and he was around right then.
We want Hondo so bad in this live action Hondo.
Hondo wasn't as good of a guy right in that moment as he was in Rebels. He really turned in Rebels to like, oh man, that dude's on their side. When he'd do anything for Ezra, that was the difference, right? Because even with Obi-Wan, he's like, some of my best friends are Jedi. I think we were friends. He wouldn't be that way with Ezra.
Yeah. So. Okay, so can Grogu be that turn? He sees the kid gets attached because they went to him and he's supposed to be holding him and hiding him, and his people turned on him to get the money, to get the ransom, to find out who he was. And he's like, no, like this is a kid. We can't do that. And could that have been his
Hondo? Because Hondo was the leader of a pirate gang during Clone Wars, and afterwards in Rebels, Hondo's alone. Hondo doesn't even have his monkey lizard with him anymore. Hondo is literally all by himself.
And just loving his Ugnaught buddy.
Yeah.
So
Look,
could
he
that
doesn't
be the
even get
break?
his Ugnaught buddy. I mean, he breaks his Ugnaught buddy out of prison. He is literally alone.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Huh.
could be.
Could be.
Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. We've got a little bit of Grogu's backstory going. When do you think this continues? Do you think we're now?
Every time to make
Because I mean,
armor.
we kind of got well, we kind of got Din's all wrapped up in the first season. Then there wasn't any real flashbacks in the second season. Are we going to get Grogu's story fleshed out in this season? Do you think we see that, or do you think they're going to drag it out over another season?
I bet they drag it out. I bet they drag it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it might not always be in this show. We might get it in Ahsoka, right? Because they're all gonna connect, and they're all gonna meet each other. So something's gonna remind somebody of something every time. And whether it's a banging or a lightsaber hit or something's gonna remind Grogu, and they'll go into a flashback mode, just like Din happens to Din.
Yeah,
and I like it. I'm liking flashbacks. I dig flashbacks.
There's going to be a scene in this where Moff Gideon has a blaster or has a saber or something, and he just plunges it into Grogu's chest, and everybody's going to freak out. They're all going to be like, and Grogu's going to just kind of stand up, and his little cloth is going to fall off, and his little armor piece is going to be there, but it's going to be that moment. It's coming. We've seen the armor piece, and it's going to be Gideon because he's a bastard, and he's already threatened the kid once.
It would be cool if somehow Gideon got the Darksaber and was about to kill Din or Bo with it, and Grogu sends his disc through the Force. And and that's what breaks the Darksaber. That's how they get the crystal. Then he gets Yoda's hilt and puts it in there, and then we're styling.
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
I'm gonna get there eventually. I'm gonna get that crystal in that hilt. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I just want to figure out
how. You're working it, man. You're definitely working it.
I mean, they've already written it and filmed it, but I'm gonna make it happen.
He's gonna use the Force to will it to happen.
Oh shit.
Today you missed it, but we did play Bad Batch Bingo today. We had Matt Logic 44 got another freaking bingo because somehow this mofo is cheating. I know it.
He got the good cards.
He did get the good cards, but Don the Dad Dorn also got a bingo, which feels a little bit like nepotism at the moment.
A little bit.
So yeah,
but it fits. It fits.
That's right.
Hey, can you hit Skyrider's last comment here? Is that should be addressed real quick? Yeah, no shit, dude. Let's get rid of the potato sack. I don't understand why he's still in this flight jacket that doesn't fit him for so long. Make him a robe. Make him a jumpsuit.
They got to make him something because
would be dope.
That thing's kind of got to smell a little bit by this point. It's just nasty.
Yeah.
And but I wonder if they worry about how he's going to look with his little itty bitty legs and all that once he's in something else. So I definitely think they need to keep him in something a little flowy, like a Yoda, like a Jedi robe or something like that. Even Boba Fett's got the pantaloons that are kind of puffy, and he's got the skirt that kind of goes over it. That would be pretty cool. And then he could have the armor pieces on over it. Oh, now I want to draw Grogu. Okay, I'm going to break out my iPad and draw Grogu in armor now. That sounds like fun.
That's the ticket. I make it baggy, and I'm cool with this. But with a real chest plate, not this disc. Unless they use it as a disc.
Yeah.
That's got to happen. I think he's going to use it as a projectile.
That'd be cool.
Like Magneto in was that First Class? Put it right through the guy's.
Yeah.
Miss Sunflower, Din does not do laundry. How will he get off those paintball splatters? They were already gone. They just
dunk him in the lake right there and hope the alligator.
And somebody does grab him by the ears and just that's it. And he comes out. Yeah.
Jesus.
And that's it. Yeah.
You're giving Grogu a swirly right now. What the hell, man?
That's it. Yeah.
Stop wearing dumb clothes. Stop doing it.
Oh God.
Yeah, he's so clunky right now. How's he flipping around? It's just madness.
I don't know, but I love to see his little leg. I love to see him moving from a distance. Every time we get a distance shot, and he's like,
yeah.
And then it focuses on his head. And he's like,
yeah.
Oh, did you guys? I'm sorry to go backwards. The crabs. Did you think he was using the Force on rocks?
Yep.
Yes.
Did you talk about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. but then it definitely got me. They got me with that one.
I
But then
love it.
even more so is the thing that he connects with animals a lot.
Oh yes. I
So
love that.
was he bringing them to them, or they attracted to him, or what? Because when he came and picked them up and got them away, they all left.
Scattered.
He's much like Ezra, right? Because
Yes,
Ezra's the same way with Beast, which they are really going to pull that card a lot in all these shows, which is awesome. But
I love it. It's a Filoni.
yeah.
It's a Filoni thing. Filoni
Really is.
has the attachment to animals, and
Yeah.
I love it.
This,
Yeah.
yeah, 'cause
What-
the Purgles and the that's wild.
Loth wolves and the Loth. Yeah.
Madness. Madness.
That's the best way to show a connection to the Force, though. I mean, they always talk about the living Force, and that's to be able to connect with animals and stuff. I just think that's such a cool aspect of it.
It's way better than just moving rocks, like they say, right?
Yeah,
So it is
seriously.
way cooler, man. And we didn't get to see that at all, really. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Skyrider, Grogu likes to eat. I really thought he was going to suck that little crab right out of the
I did
shell
too.
whenever he picked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no. So, I mean, I think we're kind of coming to a natural ending here, unless you guys want to keep going about whatever.
Where do
What
we
do you
leave
think?
it? So we're the mythosaur. She didn't believe her, and that's it. Yeah, no, I think that was a good end.
Yes.
But
That's the end of the episode.
I don't know. Four episodes left, right?
That's-
4 episodes. We're halfway.
That's stupid. That's
We've-
stupid.
we've
These
still
need to be
got-
long seasons.
We've still got to deal with these other Mandalore factions.
Yeah.
And we've got to deal with the Empire. So do we think they're combined, right? I mean, I gotta think they're combined at this point.
I don't think we're going to deal with another Mandalorian faction. What I think we're going to deal with is we're going to deal with the Empire. We're
With
going to have two.
Mandalorians.
We're going to have 2 seasons or 2 episodes to deal with the pirates, and we're going to have 2 episodes to deal with Imperials.
See, and I think the pirates will just take a half an episode while we're starting with
Yeah?
the Imperials, because those pirates are only there to get them ready for Skeleton Crew. That's all. That main pirate, the pirate lord, the pirate king.
Yeah.
He's the main villain in Skeleton Crew, I think, or one of the main antagonists. So they're introducing him here to get him there. So I don't think you got but one more episode of those guys. They'll come jack up Navarro. The Mandos will save them, and that's where we're gonna get. Maybe that will make enough noise where the imps show up.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Something like that. But you don't think another faction will show up this season? Well, Chris Lloyd's
don't-
got to, and he's a Mando.
Maybe.
Unless he's already there and we haven't seen it.
Right.
That would suck. I'd be
Katie.
like, "Aw."
Katie
Man, that the
Sackhoff
armor
said her
takes off her
favorite
helmet
episode is
and it's-
episode 5.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Unless
what
you
the
see the
Sunflower
armor
says.
take off her helmet, and then it's Doc Brown under there. His hair comes out.
That's why he's so good at making stuff. He's a
Correct.
scientist.
Yeah.
Miss Sunflower, when will we see Carson Teva, Ernie? Wait, where? Hang on, before you answer that,
I
I'm
would
going
have
to
a
do
guess.
I'm going to do this really quick before he answers that, and Ernie, the Fallen Fett, secretly knows something he's not telling. So, you want to take that?
I signed a non-disclosure, so
Okay.
Yeah,
So there we have.
I would say the next time that cloning comes up, Carson Teva will be on the show. I would think. I would think the very next time. So whether it's figuring out what happened to Pershing or, whatever.
I can tell you he's in this season. I can tell you that. So
Because he was in the trailer.
See, where
can
was
tell
he
you
in the
that.
trailer? Where was he? He was dressed normal. Was he on Navarro or Coruscant?
I would think he's on Coruscant because he was not dressed like he normally is.
Right.
He was in like a spiffy outfit.
Yeah, so
That's
a
right.
very cool
Spiffy.
jacket on with a very cool patch.
So that would make sense right there, right? So
He's in a very cool jacket with a very cool patch.
Yeah, did you see the patch? Patch was awesome.
Noted. No, I missed the patch.
Patch was awesome.
I'll double check it. I thought it was a rebellion symbol, yellow and blue. No, I missed the patch.
No.
I have it in my head that it's almost Luke's jacket and his award jacket, like right, the yellow one. I
Yeah,
had
the
that
yellow
in my
jacket.
head with a blue, the blue logo. How weird.
Oh, yeah, no.
Why it's in my head.
Yeah.
Any bets on who Carson Teva will be talking to? Is it going to be Mon Mothma or Leia?
I hope Leia. You know why? Because I think Mon Mothma's a piece of work. The more I watch everything and think about it, Mon Mothma is the biggest waste of leadership I've ever seen. The worst character. She doesn't know how to do anything. She's controlled by everyone else. She's weak. Demilitarizes the damn New Republic. Like the worst person ever. So there you go. Even in Return, she wasn't. It was Akbar and Nadine that did everything on that side, and the rebels. Mon Mothma was just sitting there all, oh, poor Bothans, shut up. I'm done with Mon Mothma.
Those were my friends.
So do you see how I got worked up there? Do you see my notes from the other day when I was sitting around thinking, doing my rewatch? I had all these notes about Bo-Katan, and my last thing was side note. Mon Mothma's a twat. That's where I'm at. Because even in Rebels, man, I'm like cheering Saw Gerrera on. I'm like, yeah, she is. You're right. What a piece of work. She ain't done nothing. She's just always hiding and not doing anything.
Yeah, Saw really wanted to be a part of everything, and she was always shooting it down.
Saw should have led that whole thing. They'd have won way sooner.
Right.
They would have lost their souls in the meantime. They would have become the very thing they were fighting to destroy.
Leia,
Miss-
Akbar. Leia and
Miss-
Akbar could have done it.
Miss Sunflower and the Sabersmith are correct.
All right.
Oh, that's okay. Now I can see it. Now I can see it.
Yeah.
There was a Rancor.
Yeah. Very cool.
Okay.
I need to look closer at that. I missed it completely.
Man, sure enough. Where were we? Okay, so good stuff. Anyway, that was fun. Good. See, Star Wars is really good right now. So it drives me nuts when I see the internet. I try to go on. I tried to go on Twitter. I tried to go back on Instagram. I'm like, are people seriously complaining about these episodes? Like, oh, it's too short, or oh, it's too long, or oh, this plot doesn't make sense. And I'm like, what plot isn't making sense? We're getting a story. We're getting lore. People just want pew pew. And it's not always that. We are getting some of the best lore that we have gotten in any show consistently. Like
not only that, but what they had canon themselves or have grown accustomed to know. Yeah. It's not. It's being rewritten, and we're still bringing up stuff from the past that fits in good. And if not, then there's an answer for it. Because obviously we could see that being as everything keeps coming together. There's always something like, oh, that was good. I mean, nobody guessed that it was going to be Ahmed Best's character. No, and then the ship is Jar Jar's ship and just everything. Right. Like, that was thrown out there. There was damn YouTube videos forever of him in that position. Like, okay. And nobody said it. But it's all there. And it's great.
It's okay. For a split second, were you excited? Were you excited immediately or a little bit disappointed it was him?
I didn't know who it was. I had to remind myself. And when I looked, I was like, oh my God, yes. Because mine came from the point of when she said it, I immediately hopped on and started typing in the name because they said it very early in the scene.
They did. Yeah. I wasn't thinking about the name. I just meant when I saw it. Because I ignored the name. I really I blew by me the first time. And I was like, oh man, would they just... Okay, I saw see it in a minute. So when he came on, I was like, am I excited or sad? Or sad it wasn't somebody else? Am I excited it's Ahmed Best here with this character? Or did I want Quinlan?
Yeah, right. We still don't know. He said he's going to Friends. So like
the path,
that's what I'm saying.
Hopefully.
So to see...
Well, no, it's too early. It's too early for the path. Damn.
But this could be the start of it.
Yeah, well, it'd be very early to start.
Very early.
But still, well, I mean, this is where it grows, right? It has to start somewhere.
Yeah,
and obviously this is the starting point.
Yeah.
So if he shows up and there is a group of Jedi ready there to go and they're discussing what are we going to do, then that's, like, oh my God, Grogu was a part of the beginning. And
if he's there,
Quinlan.
Because I'm Scott, I talked about it already, but he's like the dean of the Jedi school, right? The Kelleran. So he would be one of the leaders right now. They're going to make him a really cool character moving forward, right? That's neat.
Yeah.
So,
and he's very good with sabers. He has a nickname. He is the one to watch over them. Like I think
letting Ahmed Best start, and since he was the dean of the school, and they would be helping younglings a lot of it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man. I think that would be dope for him personally. Give him a whole new character.
And at this time, too, I think that's who's going to need the most help, because these stormtroopers were going after the head Jedis. I mean, we had Grogu escape, we had Kanan escape. What's her name from Obi-Wan? She played dead and escaped. All these younglings.
Reva.
Oh,
Reva. Thank you. Reva escaped. So it is all these younglings who are out there who they let the kids get away because their main thing was the Jedi, right? They were just being taught. And so these kids had a chance to escape. Even though they were very hard trying to go, it seemed more that the troopers were after
in that
the Jedi
moment.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yes,
in the moment. People that were going to fight them, right?
So it is a big thing to have him as the one and like to start this, because then these are the younglings who need help. They're
Yeah.
they could keep this going and everything, and the surviving Jedi to help. Like, I'm so anxious to see who he was going to, where they land and end up. Is that would be a perfect spot for Quinlan and others, like all these so many others. Even if it's a new character that they show us that we get a backstory to, because of he helped and then he got taken out some point, at least by the Inquisitors or something, and there's so much open now for, again, more story.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that could even happen. Yeah,
So
Cal?
with
Cal.
Cal Kestis,
Yes.
with all these clickbaity sites and all this negativity that's once again rearing its ugly head in the Star Wars universe and the crap that we're seeing online. I ask you out there who in the pit, you're all part of the Sarlacc Digest too. We think of the pit as extended members of the show because you're so interactive with us. Tell us what you think. What do you think is up with Star Wars? Are you on board? What would you rate this current season of The Mandalorian and The Bad Batch? Just on a scale of 1 to 5 or give us a scale of 1 to 5. What do you think? How do you think it's holding up?
What's funny is the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks now, correct? Because it started immediately when this started, is probably the best 4 weeks of Star Wars I can remember, like consistently, but especially with multiple things going. It feels good. That's why the internet pisses me off. I'm like, as people, I'm like, wait, I didn't agree with you last time either when I didn't like something, you liked it. We're just completely different pages. And sometimes I'm like, everybody can have a different opinion, but sometimes I think people are just being opposite to be opposite. It's like, just to get clicks. I'm like, you're just making shit up.
Yeah, exactly. So what on a scale of 1 to 5, where do you sit on this episode, Chris?
Oh, 4.5. I got to always give room up right now. There's got to be there's a lot of lore, and that's why it's getting so high, right? And almost every episode I'm leaving about 4.5 because I'm been happy with all of them. Even the Coruscant one I loved. I got so many complaints about the Mandalorian. I hated that because we're on Coruscant. It's part of Star Wars. When you're there, it looks different. Right? Yeah. That's actually the point they made about Tatooine last year, about what we all did, about the scooters, that they were out of place. Because on a different planet, they have different aesthetics. So what did you expect? If we go to Coruscant, it's going to look like Coruscant. It's going to be a different aesthetic and feel than everywhere, Navarro and Tatooine and everywhere else we go. So it drives me nuts. People complain about that. Great story. So 4.5 whole season so far.
Ernie, you?
It was like a 4 for Bad Batch and definitely a 5 for Mandalorian, just because of all the Mandalorian stuff. That was great.
Yeah.
It was. I was screaming at the TV right from the beginning. Yes, and then even the ending. I'm like, I need a tattoo. Yes. So
See, I saved my 5s for Thrawn.
Yeah. See,
and
exactly.
Grogu with a lightsaber. Yeah. That's when 5s and
nothing's getting a 5 until those moments.
Yeah, basically. Something to that scale. Where you're like,
for me, this has been it because there's been so much. And it's been so much that now this is gospel. This is it. This is out there. This is what it's going to be. This is what we're going with now. And go ahead, tell it to me. Tell it exactly how you want me to take it, because you do. He lays everything out there, and there it is. Oh, okay. So I got to go to the waters. I got to find a mythosaur. All right, cool. Oh, there is a mythosaur. There's so much.
I know, and that's Miss Sunflower went for a 10 scale. Chapter 17, 8 out of 10. Chapter 19, 9 out of 10. Chapter 20, 9 out of 10. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It was so good. Yeah.
The episodes that dealt with Mandalore, specifically the planet Mandalore, and where we're at right now with all the Mandalorians, it's everything I ever wanted in Mandalorian culture, and seeing post Return of the Jedi Mandalore. Something I never thought in a million years we would ever get our hands on is this story, and it is so far lived up to every expectation I had, with very, very few little bumps in the road. I would give this, if we're going on a scale of 10, I'd take it to a 9. I'd say definitely a 4.5, 4.75 in a scale of 1 to 5. I love this. I love this show. And the Bad Batch has just ramped it up, man. It went from being why are we watching this right now? What is happening? What are we doing to just don't stop? Just keep giving us this on this level. And yeah, I'll give it 5s all day long.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
all right. Next week.
Anyway, guys.
What's the okay, last thing. What's the episode next week? What's the focus? What it will be?
Yeah,
I couldn't even tell you because
I think
of everything we've done. I can't tell you.
I think we get a call from Navarro. I think that Carl Weathers, who directed this episode, who saw that coming after the last 2 episodes that he directed of The Mandalorian, which were kind of weak, all things considered.
Yeah.
To come back with this, come back swinging like this, holy crap! I did not see that.
His
coming.
action stuff is always really good. You know what happened in this one? A little different. He wasn't in it. Number one.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
To deliver the lines, nor was Mithril, which was also a problem. All these actors have been doing this for a minute together, and they're all very good. So no matter how they're directed, they're probably going to come off as their character pretty well. There wasn't a lot to play with on here besides action, and he does. All of his episodes have been awesome in action. The Siege, for all of my complaints on the dialogue, was the speeder bikes were ridiculous, right? All that kind of stuff was cool. So he had no problem with that, and he killed it on this. So
yeah. Okay, I think that Grief Karga is going to send out a distress signal. I think we're going to get action back on Navarro, and I think it's going to ramp up to whatever the final 3 episodes are.
Yeah. To the point. Remember I talked to you about titles earlier in the chat, right? So we've had all these things, like it was the convert, which was a double meaning, right? And the apostate, which was a double meaning, and today, which had a double meaning, the foundling. I'm waiting for the warlord episode, and that's when you can get your pirate thing done, right? With the Navarro pirate stuff, because he's a warlord of sorts, right? And the imperial warlord, you get Gideon back. It has to happen now. We're in the second half. You can't wait until episode 8 or 9 to bring in the big bad. Right? We haven't had enough Gideon, period, honestly, for 2 seasons. We've only had him, 3 episodes maybe? 4 episodes? Yeah. Something like that, mainly in there, besides like a quick appearance. It's time to bring him in big, if he's going to be anything.
And we haven't had any leaks about season episode names, have we? I mean,
no, not yet.
I think you mentioned the Foundling a couple of days ago.
That was because Carl Weathers put it out. Carl Weathers literally tweeted it. And everybody's like, he's not supposed to do that. I'm sure he got talking to, but he's Carl Weathers, so nobody's going to say shit to him, right?
Right.
He's all the Foundling, directed by yours truly, coming out. That's what he did.
Yeah.
That gave us the stuff. But no leaks on that. Matter of fact, the leaks I've seen, besides the ones I've shared, I think I had 2 more things that are going to come up that I don't talk about on here, Yeah. That are going to be pretty rad. Besides the Praetorian stuff. That's the other stuff that has to come. But... one should happen. I think that other, if the Warlord one goes on and they go to Navarro, the other one should happen, I think, too. So we'll see.
Skywriter popping in here with the directors of Mando should do the next movies with John, Dave, and George. I'd be down with John, Dave, and George working together, as long as George doesn't have to direct it.
George ain't never coming back.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Once bitten, twice shy.
He'll be there to visit, though.
He does come to visit.
He'll visit.
He'll be there to hold Grogu. Every time we ever see a picture of him on set now, we're all going to be eyeballing what's going on in the background, because Ahsoka is right there in plain sight.
I do, every set shot that they do planned, that they take, right? Not like a sky shot, somebody sneaking in, but their shots, Instagram shots, like, oh yeah, sure enough.
And apparently Darth Moocher is here. He's at home and he's ready to podcast.
So good night, everybody.
2 hours in.
All right.
But no, we are winding down here. So Ernie, do you feel like taking us out of this monster that we call the Sarlacc Digest?
Thank you guys for joining us on another great episode here. Thank you very much to the pit. Everybody was so vocal today. We definitely love it. If you're part of the replay crew, drop those comments below. Let us know your number on the scale of what you thought it was, what your predictions are, and we'll definitely get back to you next week. Mooch, sorry, you missed it. Joey, sorry. Mooch was out. Joey was working late. I almost missed it myself too, but we had a great episode. So go tell your friends about it. Go share it. And if you're new here, thanks. Think about hitting that thumbs up right now on your way out. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and hit all so you don't miss when we're on. Don't forget to check us out on all social media, from Facebook with our Sarlacc Digest Central with 24/7 Star Wars talk, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. We're also out there. Don't forget all our reviews and all our past episodes that you can go catch up on. Until next week. And don't forget to use your code Sarlacc Digest at Tashi Station Emporium and receive 10% off your next order for all your figure stand needs, display effects, space walls, good guy, bad guy stands, everything, city sewer displays, let's see, magic castle displays, everything. So go check that out over there on Tashi Station Emporium, and we will see you guys next week.
And you can hit the red button in the corner for the adult stuff he's 3D printing now. So check that out.
Wow. Nice. Behind the red door. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, I'm always asked in my 1 minute reviews, where do you get all the stand? Where do you get those wonderful toys? And all of my stands come from Marco, Darth Moocher, Tashi Station Emporium. Can't say enough about him. He is always innovating. He's working on things right now that are going to blow your mind. So just, keep it in mind. Bookmark that website, TashiStationEmporium.com. I think that's it. Chris, you got anything? You got a hot topic coming?
Yeah, I do. That was fun. So, I mean, we talked about most of it here. But still, what I'm going to do, what it does is kind of break down kind of what I talked about just a little more in depth. So we'll get in there. I don't get into the Mon Mothma bit. But that was on my head. I'm just really mad at Mon Mothma right now. But the Mandalorian talk, I was just tripping, dude. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and knock this out. I've been trying to do it for a week, and I haven't done it. I'm in the car, got nothing to do. Hot topic it. All right.
Nice. So I think that's it. So we will catch all of you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific time for another rousing episode of the Sarlacc Digest podcast, where we talk about everything that just happened with the Bad Batch. Don't forget, next Wednesday is the Bad Batch finale. 2 episodes. Don't forget that. We're going to see everything go to hell in a handbasket on there. And then the Mandalorian, of course, we're going to see something, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be rad, whatever it is.
Bad guys.
So, hey, I don't think I should say it since I was kind of running this show today. So does anybody else want to say our farewell? I know, Chris, you have got a special one for whenever I'm not here to say, the magic 3-word goodbye.
Oh, but I don't say the bad words anymore. We were told not to, because then we don't get monetized.
That's right.
All right. So keep it cool, folks.
Keep it cool.
Oh, I didn't want to steal yours.
Yeah.
Keep it nerdy, everybody.
Oh. Keep on geeking on.
There we go. Oh, hey, there's also that new rumor that's coming out.
Didn't we just go by?
The new rumor. I just read it. It's awesome. You got to hear this rumor. It's really cool. It's all about Bo-Katan and the